Hello everyone, this is SavageCast. I'm here with Grant, Don, and Payton. And this is gonna be the largest SavageCast I've ever had. Holy shit,
Two of them.
Oh, what a great start to the podcast. Jesus fucking Christ, Max. Oh my god. Oh shit, a Jew. Yes, we know.
I didn't even read that.
Dude, didn't even right out of the gate we're with that already? Bruh. So yeah, welcome everyone. I'm SavageCast. I'm here with Grant, Don, and Payton, who's currently leaning over and doing something.
Okay.
Is everybody okay?
I'm here. I'm good.
Hello, gay
I
people.
didn't expect to start like that.
No. That's the gay one.
What did I do to you?
Exist.
Payton, you grieve his streams.
Payton, you're literally bi.
It doesn't even need an explanation.
Don, shut up.
No.
All right. So, how about we first kick this off? Everybody introduce themselves. Grant, let's start with you first.
I'm Grant. I was late because I've been sleeping all day and waking up all night.
Yeah, why did we start with the late
Don.
one?
I was here early because I'm the gamer, unlike Payton.
I was here in the middle because I'm not a tryhard and I'm also responsible.
Be great.
I'm gonna pump up the volume for you guys so that you guys are more audible. I'm going to be late tonight. I'm playing euchre like a good Westerner. I have no clue what that is.
Bass.
I don't even know what that is, and I'm from the Midwest as well.
What is euchre?
I don't know.
I can't even type Payton's shell name normally. You just call him Gay Baby Payton or Gay Gayton or I typed gay twice accidentally. Oh shit. Oh, that's funny.
Hashtag Gayton.
Hashtag green gay Gayton.
Wait, hashtag green gay no bitches.
Real.
Green gay Gayton.
Alright. So
alright, enough that.
Yeah, let's start focusing on the topics at hand, quite literally, because we have a lot today. So a lot of gaming news happened over the past few weeks. Vim.net got hit. All the Nintendo ROMs have been taken down. 1000 Year Door has a lot of censorship. Microsoft closed GameWorks, which had a rather big hit, and they closed it for some reason, but it's Microsoft. They don't have any brain. A trick-based card game like Spades or Hearts. Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, like Spades. Okay.
So like Bridge or something like that. Got it.
Yep. It's just
Blackwashing and Assassin's Creed, Hades, and a couple other of those games. That really just culturally appropriate other games under the guise of diversity. Gmod taking down Nintendo models. Helldivers 2 kind of flopping as a result of bad community management. We're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff today, as well as indies that we've all been enjoying recently. Like Buckshot Roulette, for example. I've been enjoying that. I see a couple other people have as well. Thanks, Don, for getting me that game, by the way. I appreciate it. And then
you should shoot yourself now.
Yeah, you should shoot yourself with shotgun now.
Now.
Shotgun. Oh, and the Fallout TV show. We'll be talking about that, as well as Amazon trying to make a Warhammer show and thus ruining Warhammer's lore. So, let's get started with it. Shall we talk about Assassin's Creed and basically just all of Ubisoft's major fuck-ups over the past few years? Grant, I feel like you're more well-versed in this as well as I am.
Too many to count?
Yeah.
So, in general, I will admit something. Hades 2, in terms of like blackwashing, hasn't been too bad. I think for being an indie game, you gotta watch especially that balance between, we want people to be in it, but we don't want people to be fucking stupid with it. So
yeah.
That's the only game that I think has, because we have a list of games that did it. Unfortunately, I don't believe that Hades is such a big problem, but
my counterpoint is that it's Greek culture. I mean, it's the same thing as putting a black guy, a token black guy into a Japanese game just because he's black I mean, of course, you're gonna have like thousands of Japanese people in outcry over it because let's just say it as it is.
I
They're
mean-
more stringent about their culture than say Greeks are. The Greeks have
I
already
mean-
Greeks have already had their culture tampered with for hundreds of years, and they know this.
Oh, yes.
The Turks hate them. Certain European countries hate them. I know Muslims hate them. I mean, like at this point, they're just a stepping stone, and people will appropriate their culture like crazy. And with the Japanese, they're that for hundreds and hundreds of years. They were that lonesome island on the east coast off China that basically you didn't fuck with because they would kill you if you landed there. Until like I believe an Englishman became an actual samurai, as well as they imported a couple. I believe like maybe one or two black slaves, but like they never became samurai because they were literally slaves. This was back in like 1700s. Blacks didn't have rights back then. They were literally slaves. They were sold from other blacks in Africa to people in Europe. That's how it was. That's history. Fun little fact. The Turks and the Khanate, or however the hell you pronounce it, but Genghis Khan enslaved people in Eastern Europe. And said group of people in Eastern Europe, do you know what they are called now? Slavs. That's why they're called Slavs, because they were slaves. SLAVS, Slavs. That's why they were enslaved by the Germans. They're enslaved by like probably Romans as well as the Goths as well as the Mongols. And the Russians, and even the Russians too, enslaved their own kind. I mean, everyone's guilty of it, and everyone that says, "Oh, only blacks were enslaved," no, it goes a lot deeper. Goes a lot deeper. But anyway, that's the history tangent of that. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is, Yasuke was never a samurai, and these people on Wikipedia who try to rage edit and 1984 the fucking Wikipedia page about him are quite literally the example of neo-fascists, neo-Nazis.
Let's take the Wikipedia and history aside just for like 1 second.
Go ahead.
Okay. The thing is, if Yasuka and like being black and all that stuff and same with Hades being black was just all stylistic choice, I think that nobody would have a problem.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's just self-inserted just to push an agenda. That's what it boils down to.
Oh,
wasn't
correct.
Yasuke a retainer? Yes, he was a slave, basically a retainer, a squire, whatever you want to call it. He was an underling of a samurai. He was not a samurai himself. He was an underling.
And you have to use excuses like
a slave,
retainer.
a squire. They're more or less the same terms.
If you have to use excuses like he was a retainer and all that stuff, like just to prove that he's a samurai, then the thing is, you're probably wrong.
But he was never a samurai through and through. There are people who like to claim that they know about it, and they actually don't. They just want to push an agenda. They're the kinds of people who go like, "Oh, I spent 4 years being a gender studies major, and I know things." No, you don't know anything. You're qualified enough to go to Subway, and that's it. You're qualified enough to work at Subway for the rest of your life, or Walmart. not do any sort of scientific work.
Going off of Don's point, I can't remember who posted it in meme dump. I remember somebody mentioned like an anime where they put somebody who is black in like an historical Japanese context, but they didn't do it like as a serious thing. It was a stylistic choice.
They did as a joke, and it was actually really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people like it.
Obviously
if you don't appropriate the culture, if you just make fun of it, you either have to be completely serious, or you have to be not serious at all. And what Ubisoft has done is they have gone full serious and are rewriting history by putting a black guy as a samurai, when they could have just had literally any Japanese dude be a ninja or something that works with the assassins and what have you. But no. Instead, they put the one token black guy in Japanese history. The one dude. Meanwhile, let's go into the lore of Assassin's Creed. I don't know a whole lot. I'm not a fan of the franchise. But it
I don't know
doesn't.
anything.
It doesn't mean that I don't know jack shit. Ezio was Italian.
You don't know jack.
Ezio was Italian, and where was the game that he took place in? Oh, right, Italy. There was a game in Britain, in London, and guess what? The main character was British. Oh, there was a Native American guy, and guess where he was? In Native America. Oh, there was a guy, sailing the seas. He was a pirate in the Caribbean. What were pirates in the Caribbean in the 1600s? White! Guess what he was? White! So, these people natively fit their region, or at least where they were historically. The Greeks were Greek. The Egyptians were in Egypt. The Muslim, Iraqi, Kurdistan-ish area in Assassin's Creed Mirage were Iraqi, Kurdistan, Muslim. It made sense. What doesn't make sense is when you have a black guy in Japan when all of your other installments of your franchise were lore accurate to the region. Like, white guy in white country, Muslim guy in Muslim country, black guy in Japanese islands? No, that's not how it works. It's straight up appropriation. There's no logical reason to defend it.
Nope.
And the thing is that, like, Assassin's Creed is a video game where, like, anything can happen. Just take that as for what it is, just from my point of view. So, like, you would think that, like, a black guy being Japanese wouldn't even matter in the grand scheme of things. But what they're doing is they're pushing an agenda.
Oh yeah,
and that's what makes it bad.
Well, the Sweet Baby Inc., which I'm gonna talk about Sweet Baby Inc. a lot today. Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in Assassin's Creed Mirage, and that's why the female protagonist was super empowered and all powerful, because they have to make girl bosses today. But they didn't hire Sweet Baby Inc. for this game. They hired some sort of white woman because it's the whites attacking themselves. I'm just saying. Especially
women.
The white women, most specifically the white women.
White liberal women.
Liberal rainbow-haired women will attack the rest of us and call us evil misogynist men. But she apparently is made a bunch of articles, a bunch of research historical articles about how Buddhist monks had sexual relations with adolescent males. And she would write these articles. Yeah, I see your face, Payton. I see your face. Like, this is who we're talking about. This is the credibility of the people who are doing these DEI consulting. They're pedophiles. They're literal pedophiles. Straight through and through. This woman that is working for Ubisoft to blackwash the fucking story is a pedophile. There is no way around that. She is straight up a pedophile. The proof is in the pudding. I don't know what else to say about that.
I could go for pudding right now. Sorry, off topic.
But women can't be pedos, though. That's what they all say. It's like, oh, but you can't be racist to white people. Yes, you can. It's a two-way
Yes, you
street.
can.
I mean,
males
I remember
can
I
be
had
just
to
as
tell
sexist to females as females can be sexist to males. It is a two-way street. Trust me.
Yep.
I do.
I remember I had to tell my
I
sister this, actually.
I do plenty
anybody
of girls
can be
in
racist.
college.
Anybody can be racist. Anybody can be a pedo. Anybody can be a pervert. Anybody can be anything. Great example: Black Ops 3. You know, the Scarlet of zombies. Guess what? She was not very good. She straight up killed somebody because they caught her sleeping with a director, and it's just like, she could have done something like that. Yes, you could. There's the femme fatale, bitch.
Yeah. Well, do you remember Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, right?
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't?
I'm gonna bring that up again. Sexism is a two-way street, guys. That case made me super happy because Johnny Depp technically did win over Amber Heard, albeit they both had to pay a couple million to each other. But Amber Heard had to pay more. So, like, she literally was abusing the guy, and the guy was drunk all the time because that was his cope. And like, the poor dude, like, he's a broken man, but he was being abused. Women can be just as abusive as men. In fact, like, there's a fun little statistic I like to mention. I believe it's like half of lesbian couples are abusive, while half of gay male couple, or like not even half. I believe it's like maybe 10% of gay male couples are abusive. That's like 5 times. Lesbians are like 5 times more abusive than gay men.
Oh, interesting.
So like,
you can't let a woman hurt you, because if a woman hurts you, then that's your fault because you need to man up.
yeah, that's what I hate about society.
Yeah.
today. Like
Then yeah.
men have feelings too. Men have lives too. And oftentimes, and this is still true, like especially in the 1900s though, men were the breadwinners. You didn't fuck with the
Yes.
man because the man was the breadwinner. The woman was to stay at home and take care of the kids.
Take care of the family.
And sure, the roles may have swapped or have been distributed more evenly as of today, but at the end of the day, the man still has to work in some form, be it stay at home and be the guy that fixes up the house, or
Yeah.
be the guy that is a mechanic or something.
Makes the money.
Yeah, makes the money. It doesn't matter which one you are, you still have to do it.
He-
Objection, I
he
don't
still has
work. You're also
Put in
18.
something.
Well, you're just being rude to the society then.
Yeah,
No
you're
kidding.
just 18 though, Max.
I was about to say. Anywho, for Hades, I think the biggest thing that sparked the whole blackwashing topic with that was Athena. If I remember correctly, they depicted her as black. And the funny thing about it was there's different forms to these gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're different forms for a reason. Like, for instance, Aphrodite was in Hades 1. Guess what? She looks completely different in Hades 2. I wonder why. Like, that was the huge thing that it was.
Well, didn't
I
Hestia
think,
look like she had a laundry basket on her?
who?
Hestia. One of them looked like she was wearing a laundry basket.
Oh,
You know what I'm
Hestia
talking about?
wears a not shape. No, it's like a. Hestia, I think, does, but it's not supposed to be. Actually, it's
She has a pot
it's
on
a
her head.
pot. It's
A
because
cooking pot.
she's got some fire, so she obviously it's a cooking pot. I didn't even realize it was more of a cauldron. It's more of a cauldron on top. But like, how are you gonna just pick that she's the god of fire without making her red? I mean, like I said, it's all about different forms, really. And they were trying to start shit with Hades 2 again, where it's like, well, you have 4 gods that's black. What the hell's going on? And it's just like, really? It's they have different forms. There's other ways that they can appear.
I do
Like,
feel
for
like
instance,
though I'm gonna add in historical context.
right?
Greeks didn't have much connections with anywhere farther south than Egypt, and contrary to what a lot of people think, Egyptians aren't black. They're very much brown, light brown.
Yeah.
You have to go probably as far south as where modern day Khartoum is, to where basically Nubia was, to get black people.
Sounds about right.
In Africa.
Because I was
back in the
gonna say
1870s.
like, yeah, because like Egyptians are closer to like that Arabic region.
Egyptians are closer to Arabs or Lebanese or Phoenicians. They're more closer to that, at least back in that time. Rip Netflix's Cleopatra documentary, dude. That shit was racist as hell against Egyptians.
Oh yeah,
it was
Isn't
super
Egypt
super
part
racist.
of the Middle East?
The whole thing about Hades 2, which was interesting, was the whole idea of like, yes, there's a darker skin color. Like, they're not just fully white anymore. Like, I think the only fully white character is, like, in terms of skin tone, is I think Aphrodite and Hermes. I think those are the only two. Otherwise, it's with culture. It's like they're not fully white like Irish, but they're not also black enough like the Mexicans and stuff like that. So I think it was a great way to go.
I feel like as
however,
you can continue.
No, go ahead.
So I feel like Greeks do have some tan to them, kind of like Italians, but it's about as much as Egyptians have. Like, it's not very, like, they're like a light brown.
Say like a little bit lighter, but yeah.
Dionysus is a really great example. Yes, thank you.
But you shouldn't have like really, really dark-skinned characters in a game about Greek gods where, they're Greek gods. They're not fucking Zulu or Bantu gods from like 5,000 years ago that are super niche and no one's heard about them. No, this is an actual, like, it's the same thing with God of War. They put a goddess into God of War that was black in, Norse mythology. And remind me where Norse mythology took place, guys. Where did it take place again? What's that
Scandinavia.
Scandinavian country on the west side? What's that place called?
Norway.
Oh yeah, and they were Vikings, right? Yeah, they were Vikings.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
they raided, raped, and pillaged people across the northern and western parts of Europe, right? Right?
Mhm.
How far south did they go again?
Detroit.
Wow. But yeah, how far
Detroit.
south did they go?
Well,
They didn't go that far
Minnesota,
south.
but yeah.
They went south until
I think they went as far south as Morocco and Egypt, and basically that's it. And about as far west as Iceland. Actually,
Yeah.
there are technically
And then-
reports of them going to Newfoundland, but that's a song for another time. My point is, they did not see people that dark skinned. Like this girl is like a dark brown, not a black, not like Nubian black, but like a dark brown, which is like, almost Ethiopia, almost Sudanese, something like that. Not Arab though. Like much lighter than Arab would be much lighter than that. You shouldn't be having this, but again, it was Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc. was consulting for that game, so of course you're gonna have that in there. But they put this like brown goddess in a land full of, white gods and goddesses because it was Norse mythology. You didn't have that shit back then because they just didn't know that black people existed. That was how it was.
Exactly.
You imagine you have been living in your village your whole life, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this really dark-skinned guy like appears. You think he's an alien. I mean, think of it the other way around. Like, think that you're in Africa, and all of a sudden you see a white guy, and you've never seen a white guy before. What's your reaction gonna be? Psychologically speaking, what's your reaction gonna be? You're either A, gonna kill him, B, treat him like a god, or C, have some sort of spiritual connection with him.
Fear.
I mean, like, that's what the Mayans and the Aztecs did when the Spanish originally came over. They literally treated them like gods.
Yeah.
And then the gods killed them with diseases and other shit because they
brought the diseases over. Yeah.
Because they did not like Catholicism and stuff. But point is, if you're gonna think erratically when you see a different skin color from back then, so obviously like they didn't see
for the
any of
first
that.
time.
They would document that shit if they saw somebody of that skin color. They would document it.
Like imagine if you saw someone with like purple skin out in the wild.
You would document it, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you're an ancient society, you would write that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a story where a black man went to China and people were rubbing his skin as if to clean him. Exactly. No, they thought he was dirty. I mean, it's natural human instinct.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds funny from like afar, but in reality, that's what they thought.
That's like funny and sad.
It is
funny and sad. But like the point is, that's like that shows that they cared. I mean, they genuinely thought this guy was sick.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the color of his skin. At the end of the day,
it was like in mud or dirt.
At the end of the day, we can't keep having blacks self-victimize, because at the end of the day, y'all are equal. Because as soon as you try to act like you're superior to others because you're self-victimizing all the time, you actually make yourself look worse than you actually are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole victim complex
it's
thing
a whole victim
that they
complex.
have going on.
I fucking hate it.
It's ridiculous.
And I hate to say that it's I want to say it was probably white women, or just white people in general that invented this fucking fallacy that, oh, blacks are so oppressed and so whatever. No. There's a culture in Black America that is very toxic, a very toxic feedback loop. And it's like, CJ, you're lucky you don't have this, and I'm glad you don't, because you're really cool. But there's a huge divorce culture. going in Black America right now. And
Isn't that why like
do you
most
know
black-
who's oppressing them with that? The blacks themselves. We're not doing anything to do that. It's their choice to divorce or to have baby mamas or whatever. And
Yeah.
even white divorces are going up too. But the
Mhm.
point is, black culture in America, you have divorce rates super
That's
high.
good.
The mother, the single mother of a child, of a black child, will stay at home and live in poverty for most of her life with him, and because of that, the kid, especially if it's a boy, typically, because the boy has no fatherly figure, the boy is going to resort to crime and violence, which is why black people
Absolutely.
in America commit half the crime in America. Even though they're only 13%, they commit half the
10% of the
crime
population.
because they have no father figure to help steer them in the right direction.
Mhm.
It's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
Absolutely.
But the problem is that instead of making it a problem that they can fix, we have to make it a big deal that everyone has to treat them like they're some sort of god, when in reality, just treat them like any other normal person.
Yeah.
Just treat them like anybody else, man.
But that's racist.
But that's racist. But it's
Shut
just, I hate when people go like, oh, that's racist because you think that black people commit half the crime. It's a literal fact.
It's statistics.
You literally go to any registry of any sort, and they commit half the crime, but it's because of the culture.
Mhm.
And I do feel bad because I grew up. I went to high school at a super diverse high school. One of the years we actually had more Hispanics than any other group of population because we had so many Mexicans and other immigrants coming in to where I live. Grant, your camera died. But
CJ's got a good point too, by the way.
they also sometimes just want to continue living like that. For that reason, I don't know why. Well, it's because that's how they're accustomed to, CJ. Basically,
It's literally all they know.
basically, monkey
Like you
see,
were
monkey
saying,
do.
it's a
Yeah,
loop.
It's a feedback loop. It's a feedback loop. You're comfortable with the way you live, therefore you don't want to change. And
Yeah.
that's something that the government needs to step in and fix. But not by just giving them reparations like California is trying to do. No, that doesn't work. You give somebody
works.
money, they're just going to immediately blow it on something stupid. You need
Like
to
rap.
encourage them, like what America's been doing with advertising campaigns like Be a Father. Like back in the thousands, I
Yep.
remember seeing all these campaigns of like, be proud to be a father. Go
Yeah.
do this with
Oh,
your daughter.
yeah.
Go do this with your son. There were ads that did that.
Low key,
those
I kind of
ads.
forgot about that. Yeah.
But those were like cute little ads because the ad council of the US would just advertise it and say like, go do this with your son or daughter. And that like that made me really happy. That makes me want to
Yeah.
have kids.
Mhm.
But that's homophobic.
Oh,
But-
shut up.
Because it's not a gay couple.
Yeah. But
It's
it's just if you want to stop getting offended over the fact that 13% of the population commits 52% of the crime, be the change you want to see. Instead of getting
Mhm.
mad at it, be the change you want to see. Be the
Yeah.
one that breaks that feedback loop. Be the one that stands up to show the world that you're not a bunch of people that commit crimes. Stand up for yourself.
Yep.
Like, do what Martin Luther King did. I loved Martin Luther King
Yes.
when I grew up. I know that's like hilarious coming from somebody who's white, but
No,
I did a
that's
biography.
legit.
I did a biography of Martin Luther
I
King
get that.
almost every year in elementary school. I loved that dude because he was
That's
peaceful.
awesome.
He was a peaceful
Yeah,
protester.
that's awesome. I love that.
Like, why can't we just peacefully protest now? Instead, instead the Black Lives Matter protest, you have to raid stores, you have to burn flags, spit on cops, do all this other crazy shit, and you wonder why you guys get shot or get arrested and make it worse. You make a feedback loop where
And
all
nothing
cops are
nothing
bastards.
changes.
All cops are bastards, and then you get arrested by the cops, and then it makes them even more angry at the cops. I wonder why. Maybe if you weren't so mean to the cops, they wouldn't arrest you for doing stupid shit like robbing an Apple store in Philadelphia.
Yeah, wonder
And you
why
wanna,
nothing
like,
gets done.
Stuff never gets fixed, Jasek. because we're too busy sending money to Ukraine and Israel and protesting about a country that's on the other side of the fucking earth.
Yup.
Anyways, we're off topic.
Yeah, let's
we're
let's
way
move
off
to like a
topic.
new game.
What happened to
Well,
peaceful
well,
protests? Now people just block bridges and freeways in important commercial and commuter areas. Yeah, and those people genuinely
much.
basically should sign a waiver saying I'm allowed to be run over.
It literally turns the whole population against your cause.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Otherwise, do we want to talk about Microsoft and actually Tongo GameWorks actually closing for once?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
dude, I can't like what
I
are they
will-
$80 billion in a hole now?
Yeah, that is just
They're like $80 billion in a hole. Yes, Payton?
I will say really quick, Corbin made a comment. Every time you say 13% commits half the crime, me and him think about the Bill Cipher meme.
I am loud and obnoxious. I love music that rhymes. I'm a fraction of the population, but commit half the crimes. Who am I? I love that meme. It's so
That's a
bad.
great meme. Okay, continue with Hi-Fi Rush or whatever.
For 1,000.
Talk about Microsoft and Game. And
Oh my
Tongo
God,
fucking
Max.
remember.
So yeah, Microsoft, as we all know, for the past like what is it, 7 years now, Grant, that they've been buying up companies.
Yes, they've been buying up.
It feels like the past decade.
I swear, like almost past decade, they bought like what a couple dozen different
Close.
studios. Like
Yeah, they bought.
Bethesda and Activision were the huge ones, but I remember they bought Rare back in like 2004.
I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say it all started with Rare.
Yeah, it started
fuck
with
Rare.
Rare, and honestly,
Well-
Rare was their golden goose. That was Nintendo's golden goose back in the 90s.
Yeah,
Holy
And
shit,
then
man.
Microsoft literally did jack all with them.
Yeah, they did jack
Well,
all of them
ye-
except make Sea of Thieves, which was a
Ye-
dumpster fire. I mean, it was
Yeah,
all right, but it
and-
was a dumpster fire.
Didn't
And
he fuck over, like,
Banjo-Kazooie
Donkey
Nuts and
Kong
Bolts,
too?
which we
We
all
don't
love.
talk about. We don't talk about that game.
We
Well,
don't talk about it.
And if talking about Microsoft's companies that are closing, people that made Mighty Dog were bought, and they didn't do a damn thing with them except for a mobile game. That's it. They not only closed Hi-Fi Rush,
Yeah, dude,
They
why did
closed
that
Arcane
game sold
Austin?
so well?
a game that sold really well, Redfall. Redfall was really good.
No, Redfall was awful, dude.
What?
Arcane
What?
Austin suffered from that. Redfall was like online only DRM.
Oh,
Remember, Grant, it was the one where they had the embargo,
Yep.
where only lifted on the day of, and everyone
Yep.
was like sweet talking it until the embargo lifted, and everyone was like, "Dude, this is fucking awful. Do not buy this game." And not Pete Hines. Who's the Xbox guy? Not Pete Hines, but the other one was like, "Oh, sorry. By the way, give us more money next time." What's his name? Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer did some sort of like really stupid, retarded tweet, like the day after that game released, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, the game's bad. By the way, we're not giving refunds." It's like, holy shit, dude! This is who you buy games from.
That's a Mr. Krabs if I've ever
This
seen
is who
one.
you buy
Oh my
games from, guys.
days.
This is who you buy games from. Don't buy games from these people, because they don't deserve it. And then you have the like wonderful games like Hi-Fi Rush, which I heard was really decent. I heard it was like what DMC. It was like basically Devil May Cry meets Jet Set Radio, which is like super
I'd say
nostalgic.
That's a good comparison, yeah.
Yeah, like super nostalgic. And if you like hack and slashes, or if you like skateboarding games like that, that's perfect for you. Or
Yeah.
not skateboarding, but roller skating. But
Yeah, like fast moving.
yeah, but like it was a good fluid game, really well made of what I've heard and what I've seen of people play it. And then they throw it away like 3 months later.
Yeah. I watched Ray play it. I think she 100%ed it and she adored it. And yeah, it looked really good. Definitely not my type of game.
It had a good art
like
style
all the
to
way,
it too.
but it has a really good
style
art style. Yeah,
like really good art style, really good music style, which is why I said it's like Jet Set Radio, because it has that kind of vibe to it. And that's what I like about it. It has that kind of vibe to it. But I hate that they closed the damn company, because it was such a good game. It looked really good. It had a lot of promise, but again, between the ESG money being pumped in, between COVID happening, and all this, and basically this video game boom that happened 5 years ago, people were in houses with no jobs. So what do? They bought video games. And people were like, ooh, that's free profit. Let's hire a shit ton of people that we can't afford in a few years. And now we're seeing that snowball effect bite them all in the ass. Which,
Really epic
again, just
game.
goes to show, like, you got to look in the long term. You can't just look in the short term. But these investors and these large companies who don't want the long term, they want to give short term benefits to their investors. They only think in the short term. So when the
Chase the
pandemic
trend,
happened,
make the
they hired a
metaverse.
bunch of people for remote work, and they made quite a bit of money. They were able to afford it, and then once they weren't able to afford it, they looked to Larry Fink, borrowed BlackRock money to at the cost of wokifying their games. They basically got a free ride, and then people aren't buying those games because they're woke, and people aren't buying those games because they're shit, and now they're firing people. Because they just can't afford it. It's an unsustainable feedback loop.
Yep.
It's a very unsustainable feedback loop. And this is what's happening to these companies that are, or these studios that are bought out by Microsoft and what have you. And it sucks if you're one of those employees. I really do feel bad for people that do that. But Epic Games is another really good example, Don, and I'm going to get into this. But a channel I watch called Gamers Nexus, he lives in Cary, North Carolina, which is basically where Gamers Nexus and Epic Games Studios are both headquartered within like 30 miles because they're in the Raleigh, Durham area. But Raleigh, no, but no, they're in that area, so they'll shit talk Epic Games all the time because I think they laid off like half their staff or something a year ago or a couple months ago.
It was like 900 employees to like.
Yeah, 900 employees. Like that's a lot of employees.
Because you want to know why? I'm going to I know the reason why.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
why.
go ahead and tell it.
Basically, there's like these like quote unquote map makers, like people like Roblox makers,
so, like Roblox,
maps.
yeah.
What they'll do is like mass produce like tycoon maps, like Skibidi Tycoon 3. That's a real map, by the way, on Fortnite. Okay, and the thing is, like, they unironically like make like either 10 million to a few thousand, and that there's like 7 like creators that like make like 10 million. That's guaranteed. Okay, and like that's not even including like the other ones that make millions, the other ones that make 100,000s, and like so on and so forth. And like they cannot like afford all
and
these
they'd rather
shit
pay those people than their own fucking employees.
because it's basically auto-generated content just with one extra step.
And here's another problem. These fucking parents don't monitor what their children play, and thus you get that. And thus
like,
you get that.
There's actually a very interesting thing I noticed, like, since like games are like becoming more like woke and more like insensitive to like their feedback and fan base, it's almost like Disney in a sense where like they basically like have all this like money coming from their parks and shit. Why care about what the movies are when we can just basically have auto-generated content and auto generation coming from amusement?
Don, you're gonna make me go off a fucking tangent here. Apparently,
That's not for this.
Oh boy.
Apparently,
That's not for
Disney.
this.
Look what you did, Don.
Let's go off a tangent here. Let's go on a Disney tangent, shall we? So Disney apparently has been using AI to write plots for some of their more recent movies. The Wish movie was apparently AI plot written. And they've been doing. I think they're doing that with Inside Out 2 as well. But my point is, they're not even using people anymore to make the plots. They're using fucking AI. And how do these fucking Disney parents not realize this shit? Stop watching these fucking movies. Between blackwashing the characters like Tinkerbell or Little Mermaid, who are white, and you're appropriating a British kid's story for Peter Pan with Tinkerbell. B, Little Mermaid being black in the water. By the way, the actress couldn't swim, by the way. They had to use CGI.
I recall that.
Very fitting that a black woman couldn't swim. But they hired a black woman who couldn't do her proper job as an actress for an underwater character. Way to go, Disney. Really shows who you're prioritizing here. Really shows who you're prioritizing here.
I didn't even think about that.
But no, they've been using AI to write stories for them.
No, I'm talking about the whole she couldn't swim part.
The she couldn't swim part.
Yeah.
I never watched the movie.
Isn't that
crazy.
funny? Isn't that funny how she was black and she couldn't swim?
Anyways.
Sorry. Enough of the fucking jokes. Oh my god.
All
Are
right.
y'all gonna talk about the
Wanna focus on a new
Helldivers 2
game?
Crisis? Yes, we are.
We
We're
are
gonna
gonna
talk
get
about
there.
Ghost of Tsushima as well, if I can fucking say that correctly. God damn.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, we could literally bump the next 3 together because they're literally Nintendo related.
They go hand in hand.
They go
Actually,
hand in hand.
since Vic brought it up, let's talk about Helldivers and just Sony
Let's
in
do it.
general.
Let's do it.
You mind
it's
if
not
I
gonna be
start
super
with
long,
Stellar
so-
Blade though?
Yeah, start with
So-
Stellar Blade, please.
Question.
Yes.
Yes.
So do people only like that game because the woman looks like a woman?
90%
I-
yes.
No,
Okay,
actually, it 20%, like 19% of the players play the game because of the combat. Because combat is
The
supposedly
combat I heard is
decent.
actually decent.
Okay.
But 80% is like finding outfits, making yourself super strong, even though you could turn yourself hard mode, and
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
literally. There's a skin suit which basically shows the most cleavage possible, but also ups the difficulty dramatically as compensation for it.
This puzzle took me an extra 30 minutes. I wonder why, as the jiggle physics are working.
I wonder why climbing this ladder
puzzle-
takes an
this puzzle-
hour. Climbs
is-
down the
Oh,
ladder, climbs back up, climbs
stop.
down the ladder,
You know
climbs
what's
back up.
hilarious? You think about, you talk about the ladder part, but all I think of is that Skyrim moment with the helmet, and it's just knocking on every single rung of the ladder going down.
I know what you're talking about.
Just I need to be stealthy.
Oh my god.
No,
Alright,
that
can I
was a
ask you
different
one
question
thing?
because, like,
I do have something to say. All right, so like, I guess the big trend is like how companies are like starting to like reduce like women's dress because they want to make it all less objectifying women and all
Well,
that stuff.
here's the thing,
But we
Don.
basically woman as something to objectify over, and in terms of reduce their breasts because that's how we objectify women.
Well, they're also doing it because they're doing it because of the feminist cult reasons, as well as the tranny group. You can't if you have attractive women, it's offensive to men who claim to be women.
And let's
sucks us
objectify
up.
women by let's unjectify women by objectifying them as something to remove the breast from.
Yeah, basically,
what I'm getting
they're just appropriating what actual females are.
yeah.
You know, attractive ladies with breasts, with a thin waist, typically. But no, that's illegal. That's bad. You have to make him look like a fucking pork chop with legs. And you have to make them look like they're mewing all the time with like a really big fat jaw, a big rocky jaw like a man.
Let's
You have to make them look like they're 50 years old. No,
Broad
And you wanna know
shoulders.
what's
broad
ironic and all this?
shoulders.
Let's make them look like fucking praying mantises.
Yeah, dude.
You know what's ironic in all
That's
this?
what they're doing, though.
How-
I mean,
They're
did you see
literally
the
doing
Star
it.
Wars Ubisoft game where the girl, like the model, was actually really attractive, and then they fucked her fucking face up?
Yep.
They
That
made her look
sounds
like
so
a
bad.
fucking ugly dog.
Don't
dude.
even go there. It wasn't meant to be gone that direction.
Let's not forget about Pokemon Go and all this. We're like literally the
Oh,
community
yeah.
behind
Oh,
it.
dude, yeah,
Saying that they
GamerX,
literally feel
another
uncomfortable with
DEI
how
consulting
realistic
company.
it
They
is.
ruined the player
Yeah.
models. They made them all look fat. They literally made them all fat and ugly and
Mhm.
just really shitty looking.
And you
Yeah.
wanna know what the thing with fat people are? They die in 2 years, so why are you catering to them?
Ah, oh my god, Don. What
No,
the
I'm
fuck?
serious. I'm actually serious.
No, you're
That's
not
what
wrong.
ironic thing.
You're not wrong. It's kind of like
Literally,
that meme. It's kind of like that meme of like those like TikTok people that are like fat advocates, and then it will like quickly grab
Slide
the
up
screen,
and, like, it'll
then
show, like-
and then a narrator will be like, "That guy died after 2 years," and then he'll have another one, "That guy died after 2 years," and then he'll have another one, "That guy died of a heart attack after 2 years," and they'll
I
have
wonder
another one,
what
"That guy
caused
died
this
of
heart attack.
that guy
It-
died of diabetes," and it'll
It
just
must
have a
have been
bunch
the
of them.
heat wave. The heat wave. Ever heard of that? The heat wave? The magical heat wave that causes heart attacks?
No.
Yeah, it's basically like stemmed off from like COVID, where like people were getting heart attacks and all that stuff after their
Oh, yeah.
vaccination, and they blamed the heat. It was just a heat wave. I wonder what could have caused this.
Oh, I have heart complications from that now. I'm damn sure of it.
I
Like,
got
I've
this
been, I've
whole
been
ass.
feeling pains in my chest every other day, and I'm definitely feeling it's probably because of that.
I got this whole McDonald's meal that feeds 3 people, but I'm also trying to watch my weight, so I have this Diet Coke, this large Diet Coke.
Bro sounds like Nikata Avocado, just like, oh, I have this
Yep.
giant pile of food, but I can't eat all of it. So I have this can of cancer next to me that I can drink instead.
I had to
know,
drink
right?
Coke today. It was disgusting.
Dude, I hate pop.
Why are you drinking Coke 3 days later?
Why do you think I never drink soda?
I only drank Coke because literally the water was shot, and my dad is like replacing the sink.
Mm.
Go get purified water.
Yeah,
go
go
get
get purified
bottled
water.
water.
Get cases of
We don't have
water.
plastic. We don't have bottled water.
Bruh.
What?
It's
How?
$4 for like 26 bottles or 32 or
I
whatever.
get them on sale for $4 for 40.
Well,
Damn,
like
that's cheap.
that's not it. That's not an excuse.
That's cheap
not an
that's
excuse.
cheap for scalped water, honestly, because I get water for like 5 cents a gallon where I live.
Mhm.
And then I could literally just buy a bunch of empty milk gallons, fill them up, and then sell them for like $5 each. Like literally a 10,000% profit margin.
Isn't that what they do during disaster relief?
That's what Nestle and Deer Park and all those other fucking companies do. That's what tap
That's
water.
what I'm saying.
Dude, literally bottled water is like the biggest fucking scam on the planet unless you live in Africa.
Right.
But like 99% of the time, it's literally just water straight from a fucking tap or a spring, which is where they pump water in from any municipal place anyway. But instead of paying $5 a gallon for it, you're paying $1 for a bottle of it.
Yep.
Did we actually discuss about Helldivers 2?
Yes, we were just on Stellar
No.
Blade.
We went off on a
We went
tangent.
to Stellar Blade first.
Yeah,
That's what
but
happened.
Stellar Blade basically, apparently it's an okay hack and slash, but like it kind of just loses its niche after like maybe 20 hours into it, which is
Well,
I
what
guess
really
understandable.
sucks. What really sucks about Helldivers 2 is that the player base dictates the environment, even though there is one person controlling the environment. The player base isn't going to dictate that. So when they finally slapped on nerfs on stuff that was really too strong, and they buffed stuff that wasn't too strong, the community was in an
The community
outrage.
outlashed at it. Yeah.
But here's the problem with Helldivers is probably the first game to test this niche out. Are they gonna go down in flames for it? Probably. Yes, but you know how many other games are gonna spry from this and be like, "Oh, this is what we're doing too," and it's just.
Well, think of the
And
battle royale genre.
Yep.
It started with
Don't
what, World
remind
War
me.
Z back in like 2015, and then
Oh,
PUBG
God.
came out in like 2016, and then Fortnite came out in 2017, and look at where Fortnite is now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Helldivers
Fortnite
2
is
is
steady,
just the
though, that's
first
the thing.
domino.
Fortnite is now like steady though, isn't it?
It's a multi-game platform, according to the CEO.
Well, you could say that about Roblox, but Roblox is still
Exactly.
going
You could say that
strong
about
after
Roblox.
20
Hell, you could
years.
say that about Minecraft.
Like the
Minecraft
only
too,
reason
yeah.
I'm still playing that game is because I reluctantly play
Fortnite
it
is
with
the
a friend.
first multi-game of its kind. Have you not played Minecraft? Have you not played Roblox?
Roblox.
Exactly.
Have you literally not gone outside?
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna know what's ironic? These like new game modes that Fortnite will make, like they put like so much effort into it, like it actually like costed them like part of like their own game and
Didn't
company.
they make a Guitar Hero clone? And
A
like
Guitar
Yes,
Hero
nobody
they
clone,
plays
yes,
did.
it?
and
Yeah,
a racing
they
clone.
did.
But like it only has
The
like
only-
4,000 players at most combined.
The only people that played that game were people that actually loved Guitar Hero, and you know,
And it's
Guitar
not like
Hero,
Clone Hero exists.
right?
Like out of all the games to clone, you think for a battle royale that revolves around shooting, you would think like you would want any other game like a campaign mode. Oh wait, they do have a campaign mode,
And
but
then they got rid
abandoned
of it.
And they got rid of it because
No, they abandoned it. It's basically on life support,
That's still
which is
stupid.
basically abandoned.
I only
mean,
play
for
Fortnite
real.
with Don Max or Corbin and some other friends. That's it. I mean,
I
like,
know
Honestly,
Steven
honestly-
still plays Fortnite often.
I'll be frank with you. Fortnite is what made me make this community. I'm not even joking. I made this Discord server because I was friends with these two people I ran into, or basically. No, here. Let me reword this. I made a Discord. Later that day, I ran into like these two kids that were my age. They were in California, but we all decided to play Fortnite together. So I got on my Switch and played Fortnite with them. Later that day, we were on like a 2-hour call, and they had another friend who played Minecraft. So I played Minecraft with him, and this is back in like 1.14. And then I made a bunch of other friends through that, and that's kind of how the Discord kickstarted itself, and that's kind of how I started streaming a few months later. This was back in 2018, mind you, like mid 2018 during summer.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's how 2018 worked for me, and then 2019 is when I started streaming. So that, unironically, Fortnite is partially to blame for how I got the whole community kickstarted.
Well, and then back to Helldivers, the
Yeah,
Helldivers
really.
2 incident, because we're just a bunch of ADHD, ADD kids that just want to talk about everything.
Exactly.
This one especially.
No, it was, well, and then Sony decides, oh, we're gonna put the PSN restriction now and stuff like that. But now the fact is, you've now, even though you've rescinded that rule, you're now losing money out of the 157 countries that are not in the PSN network anymore.
Yeah, and
So
Steam
people
literally
can't.
removed them from the list. And
They
Ghost of
did.
Tsushima, they were removed from the list too. So if you're in the Philippines or what have you, and you try to buy GOS or
It's not.
GOT,
It's
you
not.
can't buy it.
It's not gonna let you.
Wait, what happened with Ghost of Tsushima? Same thing.
They require a
It's same
PSN
thing.
account for single player.
PSN.
For single
And
player.
For
That's
single
so
player.
dumb. What?
For single player game, you have to use PSN. Which is
Bro.
like, no, I'd rather pirate the game than do that. Fucking
Agreed.
you
stupid
will own nothing and
Agreed.
you'll be happy.
shit.
But
Getting
the
a
whole,
player
it was
game.
the whole, I know you guys have enjoyed the game. We love watching you guys play, but now it's time to put down the rules so we can make the statistics. We need everybody to make PSN account because we want to make sure that PSN looks really good, because
we want to make
totally
sure our
not had.
shareholders are happy about this account data that we're going to sell to people and then give away to Hackers Anonymous because we're too retarded to make good security.
Well, not only
They ban
that,
people that we don't like.
And oh
Yeah.
yeah, there was a community manager who was, so there was this guy who thinks he's a girl that's a community manager for Helldivers, and he was pissed off that they rolled back the PSN requirements because he wanted to ban people that didn't agree with him politically.
Yep.
Oh my god. Some of you fuckers don't deserve jobs. You literally are going to try to ban people because they don't agree with your religious political views about science. Like, holy shit. Go outside. Please, I beg you. Go
Yeah.
outside. But this is like these are the community managers we're dealing with these games. They want to abuse the PSN requirement, and then when it's rolled
be right
back, they either get fired or retire or just go into hiding. And that's
Yep.
what that one did. They went into hiding. But there was another one that basically said just refund the game, and he got fired.
Well, yeah, because
as a
Sony
way of
loves
protesting.
Sony loves a community manager telling their fans to refund the game.
Yep. I mean, not a smart move at all, but like.
But
Frankly,
here's the deal, though. He was looking out for the community.
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
He was a hero. He was a hero.
Props to him.
He was a hero.
He did what most community managers would never do.
Yeah, he was bold.
Mm-hmm.
He did it. He's gone on to bigger and better pastures at this point.
Pastures.
So
Done his job and did what was needed to be done.
Yeah, he did. He had the moral high ground, so I'll give him that.
Absolutely.
But I can't see myself supporting the game because of A, the community managers, and B, because of the fucking PSN requirement. Like,
Yeah.
even though they walked it back, they still haven't taken away the countrywide restrictions.
well, I think that'll be forever
the worldwide
now.
restrictions. Sorry, worldwide restrictions for the game. And again, Sony's doing this for shareholders. And Sony tried to make Stellar Blade fail because no booba in my M-rated game No boob in my Emery game. Meanwhile, look at Bayonetta.
I
Meanwhile,
was
look
about
at
to
Nier
say-
Automata. I'm just
Yep.
saying, if
Bayo.
Nintendo is allowing Bayonetta, you know, the really attractive hot witch mommy that everyone loves, you know, that one
From the family-friendly company.
from the one that the family friendly company funded a second and third game of.
I mean,
funded.
if you want to
Oh,
talk
They're
about
also funding a fourth and a fifth, by the way.
Again, my point. They're
Or, like,
if
Pauline.
Nintendo's okay with this, how come Mr. Woke Sony isn't? Oh, right, because they're woke and they hate attractive women. So they fucked over their Korean dev team that made it, and I think they're under a permanent console exclusive for Stellar Blade. I don't think they can port to PC.
I think
Also,
so, yeah.
but I think what happens just on a more business scale is like the companies like I think like Sweet Baby and all that stuff, like it's like the same companies how like invest in Disney, where like you'll just like use corporate terrorism, like you buy by
Yes.
us or we'll like take away your ads.
Yes, precisely. And thank God Elon fought against that with his own platform.
Mhm.
Like, it basically, like, I remember seeing Elon basically said, well, if you want to blackmail me by not using ads, fuck you. And he took Disney Plus's app off of Tesla's because Disney took away
Right.
their ads from Twitter. I'm not saying that Elon is a good guy because I'm not a huge fan of him, but I can appreciate him for, you know, not fucking basically for letting Disney and those companies find out when they fuck around.
Find out.
Yeah.
You can like the ideas without liking the man JSEG.
Bang.
Yeah, exactly. It's like with Matt Walsh and What Is a Woman? Great documentary. He did a great job in that. I fucking hate the guy. He's a religious prick, but he made a good documentary. You can
appreciate the art without the artist,
yeah.
essentially.
Or now you're gonna. Oh, okay, all right. Now here's a really fucked up analogy.
Oh.
Hitler was a good artist. He was a fucking evil dictator. I'm just saying. But the point is I'm making here, Pablo Picasso was a filthy communist. And so was what's his name? The guy that made the soup can photos or the soup can paintings. Andy Warhol. He was also a filthy communist. But he made good artwork. You can appreciate the artist's works and not the artist. So I agree with you, Don. You can separate the two. You don't
really
have
had
to
to
agree with
bring him
everything
up.
I say, but you can appreciate what I'm saying.
At least you're taking the balls. At least you're having the balls to go ahead and do something like that.
Yep.
That's the big thing.
Yep. Peyton's just fucking dying over here.
Well, because of what Don said.
Wait,
This
what?
is why- how
Which
did the
thing did he
server
say that
brain
made you
rot
die?
started?
You said you had to bring him up.
What? It's Dawn. Of course I have to bring Mr. Austrian Painter up because Dawn's here. I'm like required to do that. I'm required to do that. Godwin's Law moment.
Alright, we have finally finished up
let's
Helldivers 2. And we're moving on to just general Nintendo topics. So like Gmod finally removing Nintendo characters.
Oh, yeah.
Vim's Lair being removed.
Yeah, we got a whole
at
bunch
least
of Nintendo.
at least the Nintendo side of Vim's Lair.
Let's get the elephant out of the room. The rather large 7 crystal starred elephant out of the room. 1,000-Year Door is woke. And
it is now woke.
Yeah, we knew that.
So at the beginning, there is a scene where the I believe just in prologue, just before you start chapter 1, there's a scene where you fight the first 3 Goombas, a regular Goomba spiked and a flying one, and they hit on the or catcall Goombella. Well, they got rid of those lines in the new version of the game, which to me is fucking cringe. Like, holy shit, guys. why are you getting so mad over them hitting on a Goomba, on a fictional character? Fictional character is
Because
hitting on a fictional character. The
that
game's
confirms that
rated
female,
E10.
male
Who
exist.
cares?
And
But that
also,
confirms that
like,
there are only two genders exist, Jason. Only female and male. That confirms it.
Wait, what, Don?
Because a male Goomba hitting on a female girl Goomba, that's bad because male and female.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure.
good point.
That's a thought crime. That's a thought crime. You're right. That's a thought
What's
crime.
it? I was gonna say also, like, you know,
Well,
they're the enemies. We're supposed to want to feel like, yeah, let's kick these guys' butts. They're being jerks.
Well, I
They're-
feel like
Goombas are people
yeah.
too.
Well, here's the thing: if
They're
a
people
Goomba is
too.
if a Goomba is hitting on one of your partners, and she clearly doesn't like it, wouldn't that incentivize you to kill them?
Absolutely. Stand up for
So
that.
why did they get rid of it?
They're bad guys. We want
Yeah,
to get rid of them.
We want to get rid of them. But no, apparently that's a bad thing to have that in a game where it was good flavor text.
It's a bad thing to have bad people be bad. Is what we're getting at.
I'm bad, and that's not bad. And
Bad.
I'm not good, and that's not bad, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, from Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
exactly. But and then we're gonna get in the whole Vivian thing. Vivian is a
Oh, God.
transvestite, which basically means cross-dresser, aka basically what you would call a modern-day femboy. But Nintendo is like really trying to walk the line here, and
Well, didn't they give Princess Peach her own game now?
they gave Princess Peach her own game, and it was dog shit.
It stunk.
Yeah, the Princess Peach game from 2005 was better.
Oh yeah, well the DS game I heard was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. I own it. I just need to play it.
I just need to play it.
Wow,
Period.
you're a masochist because you didn't play it at all. No kidding.
I could probably play it on my phone because my phone is now a
DS.
DS emulator.
Yeah.
I'll just get weird looks from people if I play it in public.
I wouldn't be surprised if the recent Princess Peach game was just used by AI. Because like the thing is, like companies like
It felt very generic.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's also probably the audience they were going for.
They're
was
probably
like,
it was like another Kirby. Like it just felt very generic.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have benefited from like a second action button at minimum, but like I played the demo after you played it. I definitely agree with some of like the graphical complaints you said because like
the performance
I mean some of
is bad.
the cutscenes look good, so I don't know why the game itself looked bad. Yeah, exactly.
The cutscenes
like,
look great, and then the actual gameplay looks awful.
Looks really choppy. I don't know why.
Spikes. There's random spikes in difficulty too. Like all of a sudden, getting that one gem is really hard, but getting all the others is like piss easy, and it's like, why?
Yep.
Well, I mean, some of the gems are supposed to be like harder to find than others. At least that's my assumption. But like, also regarding the gameplay, like as I was going through it, I agree it did feel mindless. But I saw like a lot of comments from people mainly who had like younger daughters that they could see getting into the game because obviously it's a lot easier for someone of that age group to tackle, and they have another female figure that they can look up to as the protagonist they can fit the role in. So like reading some of that, I could understand like why the game didn't appeal to me after playing it, but I still don't think that excuses some graphical and gameplay decisions that were made.
Here's what's inexcusable, Payton. Why was it $60?
You took the words out of my mouth.
Why was it $60? It was a
$60?
literal kids game for 5-year-olds. You could have literally bought them shovelware and they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it wasn't them a fucking Barbie game, for God's sake, and they
you
could
give kids
better.
You could give kids that age a Tupperware like container, and they would just play with it.
Exactly, or just give them a fucking like
Legos
Game Boy with Tetris on it or something.
Legos,
honestly, man.
Like
no,
think
don't
of how
give them
cheap
Legos.
Legos are.
Well, no, because Legos will hurt because they step on them, and then they're just like, "Why does it hurt so bad?"
Life is full of risks.
You could probably only want to take them
but
at that price.
Huh?
If I'm buying Legos, they're for me. They're not for any kids. Sorry.
What did you say about that, Don?
For $60, a better investment would be fentanyl.
Jeez, Don.
Yikes!
Jeez,
I mean,
man.
I can't say if he's wrong or right because I haven't tried fentanyl, but you know.
You shouldn't.
Well,
Don't.
yeah, no shit.
How about you don't?
Off of that, I was gonna say, wasn't Metroid Dread $50 at launch?
I think it
Oh
was
my
60.
God. It was 60.
Are you?
It was 60.
It was
It was
60.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
shit, my
Nintendo,
bad.
Payton. They're all fucking $60.
I thought
man.
I saw that it was 50. Okay, my
I
bad.
think there's only like 2 games that aren't. I think one of them is 1-2 Switch and one of them is Clubhouse Games.
Yep.
And those are like 40 and 50 or 50 and 40
Yeah,
respectively.
I don't know. I thought I saw Metroid Dread being 50. I might have misread it because I'm blind.
You probably saw it at Walmart, honestly. Walmart did undercut the prices until they
Yes,
unfortunately no
that's
longer sell
what it
physical
was.
games.
Yeah, that's what it was. But even at that, I was gonna say if that was the case, like Metroid Dread is leagues harder of a game than
And it's leagues better
and
of
had
one,
more
too.
in it. Yes, exactly. So if that was the case, the jacked up price for $10 more makes no sense.
And here's another thing, like I know a lot of people are gonna be like, but hard games are bad for children. My brother in Christ, 40 years ago, there were motherfuckers playing the original Zelda and the original Mario.
Original Mario.
I thought the original Mario was
Oh my
unforgiving
God,
as fuck.
people. Y'all are so fucking
No saves.
weak.
And
No
lives were
saves,
hard
and
to
if
come
you-
by.
If you died, you started back at World 1. You did not get no continue.
There
Oh, and
was
you wanna know how
the
soft
difficulty
everybody's
back
become?
then was this high, which is why I didn't like those games as much. But like today you can use save states or what have you because of the limitations
Yeah.
back then don't exist now. But
Plus, you
even
also have like
then the games are still difficult with save states.
yeah. Well, I was
Yes,
gonna say
is it-
also like now you have the internet and what's it called, like some games have like secret button combos or whatnot to
Yeah.
make stuff easier that people back then wouldn't have known about. Because I remember I was watching someone play the original Mario 1 because like they want to go through every Mario game streaming, and people in their chat were saying like, oh, if you like hold A and start at the same time when you go to like one player game or something, you could start back from the start of the world that you died at. So if you're on world 6 and you die on 6-3, a button combo would take you back to 6-1, for example.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You want to know how soft people are becoming, just in general? Like a game like Devil May Cry, which is like meant to be hard and all that stuff. Well, it's too hard. It needs an easy mode.
No, it doesn't.
That's like one of the
No, it
literal
doesn't.
complaints about that type of game.
Like
That game-
Pizza Tower, I'm not good at, and that game's a good difficulty.
You know
But
what's a game
it's
that will...
Loser.
it's not my difficulty. I ain't good at the game, but I'll admit that like it's a good difficulty.
So,
The game
Please
is
go back and-
scalable difficulty. Or what I
Please
like.
Do
go
you
back
know-
and beat the noise for the love of God.
do you know a game that will literally chew you up and spit you out?
What?
Call of Duty World at War.
Hmm.
The
That's like saying
first
Dark
Call-
Souls is too hard and we need a separate mode for little children. You
Literally.
playing Celeste without
Literally,
difficulty?
literally.
Well, Celeste has its own difficulty scaler too. It has A side, B side, and C side.
Yep.
And it's the same
I
thing
mean-
with Pizza Tower. Pizza Tower has different ranks. If you really fucking hate yourself, you can do the P ranks. Or if you're basic like me, you do B or A. I'm just
Right.
saying,
Pretty much.
like at the end
Yes,
of the day,
Max, it has Seaside.
yeah, that's a C side. But the point is that these games, like a good game, doesn't have like a one difficulty to it. A good level design is having multiple difficulties, so it's approachable for young children, as well as digestible for more seasoned people.
Experienced game. Yeah.
Because there's like master mode in every other Zelda game. That's a good difficulty raise compared to the original or to the regular version, and people enjoy that. There's also like Wolfenstein is a perfect example, and I played a bunch of the Wolfenstein games. There's literally there's literally like a literal baby difficulty, and it has like Blazkowicz with a baby bonnet on if you play on that difficulty to make fun of how fucking normie you are. And there's like, I believe in New Order, there's 5 different difficulties. There's the baby one, there's easy, normal, hard, and expert. And then once you beat expert, you get a hardcore difficulty, which is basically expert but a little bit harder, and you only have 1 life. Which Doom has this as well. Doom 16, Doom Eternal. But
Yep.
I would play on the easy difficulty. Not on the baby because like that's laughable, but easy or normal I can play at and be relatively fine. But hard or expert, no, I can't do that. But that's what I like about those games, is that the difficulty scales relatively easily. Now, Doom Eternal, much harder game. I played on the easiest difficulty and I barely could do the last few levels. But that's why I just farmed extra lives.
Yep.
But Doom 16 had a great difficulty to it. Like, very, very fair difficulty to it. I like the mechanics of that game more, though, and I think I played on the second easiest difficulty. But I'm more of a casual when it comes to those games. I don't play to be good. I play to have fun with those. Oh, the Marauder got to me? Oh, dude, I fucking hated that guy. Fucking hated the Marauder. But yeah, we need more games like that scale. That aren't just one size fits all, because it's more like one size fits nobody. Because the core gamers are going to hate it, the casuals are going to hate it, because you either have to Goldilocks it and get a perfect, just right difficulty, or have multiple difficulties and just hope everyone can deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Like even Kirby the Forgotten Land had 2 difficulties.
Yeah. It had easy and very easy.
Yes. Admittedly, but it's something. It's something.
Yeah, no, it is something. But what I'm gonna guess is that the easy difficulty is for the adults, and the very easy difficulty is for the child, the son or daughter.
Yes. 100.
Which makes perfect sense, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It would help encourage your son or daughter to play games with you. I mean, that's not a bad thing for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But like Mario Wonder, that's another perfect example of difficulty. I feel like that game hit Goldilocks on the difficulty. I felt like it was just right.
Okay. Yeah, but no other game was going to be able to do that.
Very few games are able to Goldilocks
Mario.
Difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Titanfall had an awesome way to tell you difficulty. In a tutorial introducing movement mechanics, it'd have you run a test course to check your aim and movement skills, then would suggest...
Oh, yeah!
That's neat! I like that! Oh, that's really cool.
There's like an achievement or something for like, I think completing it in sub 2 minutes or sub 130, something like that. I know Ryu grinded for like 5 hours just to do it.
I know Modern Warfare 1 and 2 used to do that. I think 3 was when the original Modern Warfare 3, I think, was the only game that did decide your difficulty at the start, which was a really bad thing because it was like the whole do this course, and if you finish under a minute with like 95% accuracy or 90%, you got the veteran difficulty. It wasn't hard to do either.
It's hard for me.
What? Yeah.
There's scaling. Oh, well, no scaling system's going to be perfect, Max. Yeah. But the fact they even put effort into it shows they care. Like, that alone is impressive, because not a lot of games do that. Like, again, you either have to Goldilocks it like Mario Wonder did, which, great game, perfect difficulty, honestly. Except for the last level, which is, like, uber hard, and I probably will never touch it. But Mario likes to go hard on the last level. They typically love doing that. Except for,
did you actually do the last level?
I played like a few minutes of it and I was like, yeah, fuck this.
Community challenge time?
No.
Oh.
Payton.
Did his internet just go out?
I think his internet just went out.
Oh, Spaghetti-O.
Anywho, the Nintendo DMCA on Gmod, I guess it wasn't really a big deal, but you know how much Mario shits on.
Hold on one sec. I'm gonna pull Payton back in.
But speaking of like Gmod finally taking down Nintendo models, Vampire Slayer removing all Nintendo titles. It's a shame, man. I mean, we knew it was coming. But
yeah, we knew it was coming, but it sucks.
When we got the tweet that that Nintendo hit the Pentagon and Vim Slayer was actually hit by it, I think the community was like, "Oh, we're
Well,
about to
I'm
run
not
out
too
of."
worried about that. There are better
No,
sources.
but
That
Vim's
was like the
layer,
most readily available one. Even though it was a
it
dirty source, it
it
was still
was
a source.
it was open source.
It was a source for people that just wanted to get games. It wasn't a good source, but it was still it was still a readily available source for games.
Yes.
There's still archive.org. There's still a bunch of mirrors of Alvaro stuff out there. Just look up ALVRO. There's plenty of ways to get Nintendo ROMs. Plenty of ways.
Yeah. Well, you know what's very interesting in a game that you would expect should be hit by this is Pokemon Infinite Fusion. That hasn't been hit yet, but they had a whole argument of like the game's completely different. It may use the same characters, but the whole concept is different.
I feel
But
like that would be
you
under
know,
fair use in quite a few
it
countries,
it,
so they
it
would
would be
able
under
to.
fair
Yeah.
use, and unfortunately, because the developers are in the U.S., they can't take them to court
Yeah,
in the U.S.
it's not like Japan. If they were in Japan,
No.
they would get shut down immediately. But because they're in the
So,
U.S., it's fair use.
well, think about it. The generation that I'm playing in has been out for more than, what, 15, 20 years, because it's Gen 1 through Gen 3. I think Gen 3
Yeah.
came out in 2007, 8?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years. Technically, content like that goes into fair use after a decade. I think if that's the cardinal rule. But the whole fusion side, since it's community based for those fusions, they can't really take them down.
Infinite Fusions is free as well, though. If the devs charge for it, that'd be no, it's
Yeah,
non-commercial.
if the
If it were
Good
commercial, it'd be
point.
automatically illegal. But it's
but
non-commercial.
here's the problem with that though. Uranium was free, but they took that one down.
They took that down though because Nintendo was more grubby back then. They've had
Well,
to be. They've had to
there's-
slow down. They've had to slow their roll recently.
well, that's because they've had failed lawsuits.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've only been able to attack if it was preemptive, like say Dolphin on Steam or something like that. But
Mhm.
but that was also mainly because Steam was like, "Hey, Nintendo, you okay with this?" But like once Apple allowed emulators on their phones,
that's when Nintendo fucking started
opened
it.
up the floodgates to doing what I'm about to show you guys on my phone right now. Let me just
Yes. I
What's
had my
the
own.
game?
It's
Oh,
Zelda.
Zelda one. I couldn't see because of the glare.
But yeah,
Yep.
Zelda works on my
Literally.
phone.
Mhm.
I literally have
Yep.
Zelda on my phone now.
I have
I also have
Fossil Fighters on my phone.
Battletoads. But on an
Battletoads is
iPhone you
underrated.
can play
As one does.
anywhere between NES and DS games on this thing now.
Which is
DS?
Yeah, DS.
DS,
We've
yeah.
already played the best Mario platformer one day.
But for those that are gonna get it, you need to look up where to get BIOSes or find videos to help you out because
Yeah.
they will not tell you how to get your BIOSes because technically grabbing the BIOSes.
Emulation.gametech.wiki.
Yeah.
I believe.
But the huge deal about it is that taking the actual BIOSes is actually the pirating portion. That's why they don't tell you how to do it. So take
Yeah.
that as you will.
But it's not like it's not like you can just look it up. Mario 3D Land, that's 3DS, unfortunately.
That's
That's
3DS.
3DS.
You'd have to wait for Lime to get ported. But Lime is basically the
Lime's,
sequel to
I thought
Citra.
Lime was ported.
Lime was ported to iOS? Because I know
I
it's on
thought it
Android.
was. I thought it was on GBA for iOS.
Mario 3D Land is 3DS, Grant.
Well, yes, but Lime got ported into that just recently.
It got ported to RetroArch.
No.
Can you play Superstar Saga on your phone?
Yes, I can. You want me to show proof?
Yeah, you can. Game Boy Advance.
God damn.
Yeah, it works.
Oh, right now
You can only bring
liming
Inside
has
Story
been
too.
added in. Lime has been added into Delta.
Oh, it has?
But it's an experimental phase, and I think
Ah,
it's like under a paywall and stuff like that to make sure that people don't They want to get it right beforehand, so
Yeah, that's fair.
it's on its way. So I wasn't wrong, but I also wasn't right. So
Now for them to get Ryujinx going.
Jinx.
That'd be cool. Oh no,
I think I'm gonna
Grant. Have you
What?
heard about MacBook performance with Ryujinx? Because again, like I explained this to Grant. I mean, not to Grant. I explained this to Payton and Don.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with MacBook performance, because they use ARM silicon now, right?
Oh, that's right.
What architecture does the Switch run on? ARM.
ARM.
So instead of having to rewrite the whole JEI,
They don't need to.
or no, sorry, the JRE for x86 to ARM emulation.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they literally just copy the ARM v7 code over to Mac OS because it just works natively. The only thing they have to work about the workaround is Metal VK, the graphics API,
Yeah.
and then boom, you have a working Switch emulator, and it actually
But
runs
then-
better than most Windows PCs.
But then again,
That one
look,
runs
they're
better
taking
than
half the
Switch.
time. They're taking half the time to complete that, where it would take full on like emulation years.
Yeah.
Like because they only have to work on the graphics part. Once the graphics part's done, you just copy paste and boom, you've got an emulator.
Yep, exactly. And because Molten VK exists, you can just translate any Vulkan instructions that Windows used and just throw them into Metal, and it works natively on Apple. Which for those that don't know, Payton, you don't know this, but Metal is basically the graphics API. Do you know what OpenGL is?
Not really.
Or DirectX?
I know those are settings in Dolphin emulator. That's
Yeah,
the
those,
extent of my
those are called
knowledge.
graphics APIs. It's how polygons are rendered. But basically, Vulkan is a very, very common one nowadays, especially for emulation.
Oh my
And
gosh, it's gotten
there's
better.
a translation layer for Vulkan on macOS that is very easily translatable. So that's why macOS or Mac products run Ryujinx so well, because it's just a translation layer for the graphics and almost bare metal for the CPU instruction. So it's super easy to run, super well optimized. They might need shaders. Yeah, I think they still do need shaders because of the graphics, but other than that,
They
like,
will need shaders, but shaders are more easier to code than anything.
But
really.
think of this, Grant. My Steam Deck can probably run Tears of the Kingdom at like 10 FPS and have like a 3-hour battery life. A MacBook Pro, an M2 MacBook Pro, could run Tears of the Kingdom at full speed and probably last a good 7 hours of battery life. That's what's great about MacBooks. They literally are powerhouses for Switch emulation. Powerhouses.
Until you burn out your battery.
Until you burn out your battery, but like, they've made the batteries replaceable on the Macs now, I believe.
Oh, good.
They're not soldered anymore?
No. And regardless, there's people like that one libertarian YouTube channel that fucking shits on every company that does something bad. Mark Rossman, I believe is his name.
I think that's his name.
But he's the guy that does MacBook repairs, and he has like a whole fucking website that teaches you how to replace the battery on basically every MacBook known to man.
Oh yeah.
My MacBook is completely destroyed.
So he's kind of based with that. That sounds like an EU only thing. Well, it will be an EU only thing, but it will eventually translate over to America as well, because I mean, in America we have the USB-C on the iPhone 15 now. Even though that was a requirement from Europe, it came over here as well.
Yep.
Wait, that actually became a thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
The port
became
on
a thing.
port on my iPhone is a
had to.
Lightning connector, but the new ones, the 15s and future iPhones, will
Well,
require USB-C.
14s was the first
Isn't that what
one.
the Switch uses?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
pretty much what the energy cable kind of ecosystem is trying to do is it's trying to have everything charge off the same cable.
Yeah.
Or be used off the same cable. Obviously, they won't be able to do that with display because display is so complex.
Well, they can grant. It's just a matter of if Apple wants to actually put a better controller into the port, because
They're not going to.
yeah, they're not going to. Every iPhone has a USB 2 connection.
Any laptop has a USB-C charger and a USB-C display port.
Yeah, but those are all like all their MacBooks have Thunderbolt 4 ports, which are USB 4.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, your
they
iPhone,
moved away from-
piddly USB 2.
Yeah.
I think like the 15 Pro has USB 3, but like, come on, guys, really? You're charging like an extra couple $100 for 15-year-old technology? No, 15? Yeah, 15-year-old technology at this point. No, USB 2 was like 2007 or so, and USB 3 was like 2011
It definitely was.
or so. When were those two released, Grant? Because I know USB 2 is
USB 2. The first iteration of USB 2 was in 2000.
2000. Oh my god.
Oh.
So then USB 3 was like late thousands, early tens, right?
USB 3
so?
was, I think, 2008.
Still,
Yeah,
my
that
point
sounds
is,
about right.
literally, Apple
15
is
years.
upcharging a couple $100 for
To have old hardware.
16-year-old technology.
Yep.
Guys, seriously? But that's
And
Apple
we-
for you. This is why I buy
Apple moment.
This is why I buy the SE whenever my phone breaks down, because I'm not gonna get the most premium one. That's fucking stupid.
Well, here's the other thing. USB 4 came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And it uses
basically,
a
when it
different
comes
port.
to
It
companies
uses
that
the Thunderbolt port, which is also USB-C.
Yep.
And it's much
when it
more
comes to
Anyways, go
companies as a
ahead.
whole, like with Nintendo, you can't play their 40-year-old game because it's on an emulator. Like that, like they'll like gatekeep anything, no matter how old it is.
Well, they also kneecap their games with the hardware in them.
Well, here's
The
here's
Switch
the
is
thing,
10
though,
years
too.
old hardware-wise. It may have released only 7 years ago, but the hardware in it was Maxwell, which was 2015.
It was
early
in the
2015.
prototype phase for 3 years, even though people say it's been on for a decade.
But the hardware in it is basically decade-old hardware, and we still haven't gotten a Switch 2 yet. Which, for economic reasons in Japan has a really weak yen right now. I could go on about that, but I'm not going to.
CES
really?
is, I think, what was CES? CES?
I doubt they're going to mention it during CES, Grant. That's something that they would announce. They're actually no.
Because I think CES this year is on.
The president of Nintendo of Japan did make an announcement stating that the next console will be announced this fiscal year.
Yeah.
I think Payton told me that.
Right.
Yeah, I remember
this
that.
fiscal
Yeah.
year we'll know about the next console.
Yep.
And it's not going to be in the
Furukawa,
next
I believe
direct.
is his name. He mentioned it.
Yeah, it's not going to be in the next direct either. He said that.
Yeah, it's just going to be in this fiscal year sometime. So that literally means any time between 2 months ago and next March.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anywho, we'll go over. I know it's a short topic, but for those that don't know, there's now the III initiative, where there was E3 and a bunch of other stuff like that for a lot of the AAA games. III has been a thing, and I'm about to answer about Bowser's question about Animal Well. I think it's cool. It's obviously a platformer / roguelike. I think it's kind of fun that way. Some of the games that were actually released during that time, Slay the Spire 2 is finally going to be released. Yeah, III, the III initiative.
Oh, okay.
It's just a hour-long grounds for like game trailers and stuff like that. And the first game they showed was Slay the Spire 2. Slay the Spire was, when it released in, I think, 2012, I think it was one of the biggest games to release in terms of roguelikes, but now that there is a second one that's going to be in early access in 2025, it's going to be very interesting. I loved the trailer. I loved the way it looked and everything like that. I think it was very fun. There's a new Prince of Persia roguelike that's coming too.
I don't have any faith for that.
I don't have any faith for it either because it's under Ubisoft. But
oh god.
Yeah, there it is.
They showed up. What's up? How about we talk about the fact We could have another SavageCast on that. No, thank you, not today.
I don't know much about FNAF lore, so
Unfortunately,
We don't need to know.
Well,
we don't
basically,
want to know.
no.
Go ahead, Don.
Shut up, Don.
Okay. But a lot of the games, like a lot of the games are more along the lines of replayability. So there's a lot of
oh, you're talking about the
roguelike
Steam thing, right?
dungeons. No,
Oh, because Steam had a replayability thing as well.
yeah, but a lot of games that were shown, because I actually sat through the whole hour-long thing. Some games just like we're adding kingdom mode to Darkest Dungeon. We are adding multiplayer to some of these Minecraft kind of things. You know, just indie games as a whole is miles where they should be in
Well,
terms of
we're
game
starting to
design.
reach that dark age with the AAA industry because of again the ESG money and the COVID.
Quadruple A.
Like I explained this like 30 minutes ago. COVID happened. You hire a shit ton of people. The market for video games crashes. You fire a bunch of people, and now the AAA industry is where it is right now. Because of ESG funding and stuff. These indies are mostly, not wholly, mostly immune to that shit. And this is why indies are taking off so recently. In fact, I feel like we should pivot this to our indie games we've been enjoying recently.
Yes.
Like Lethal Company is a perfect example of one.
Lethal Company.
Buckshot Roulette is another perfect example of one.
Hades is still technically classified as an indie game.
It is. Any others
Pizza
y'all have been
Tower.
enjoying?
Shit. I mean, Risk of Rain 2 is an indie game.
Risk of Rain fans be like, looks up at the sky.
Yeah.
Maybe today.
Well, because here's the deal: Risk of Rain 2 is getting an update with new artifacts and Verdant Falls coming, which was a huge deal. So that was big. Other indie games, I mean, Stardew Valley had their stuff. You know, they're not.
Yeah, that game
really
still gets updates. How old is that game now? Like 8 years?
Oh, there was a lot. It's probably a decade old now.
Damn.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, Stardew
Yes.
Valley.
Yeah,
That game violated the Geneva Convention
Bruh.
I don't get it.
because they used the Red Cross in their game one time.
Yes, they did. It was then it was changed instantaneously.
Wait, why was that a Geneva Convention violation?
They had
The violation was just they used the Red Cross, and like that's like
they used a Red Cross when they weren't given permission to.
Bruh.
Yep, it was a huge thing. I mean, Pal World is just iffy at this point, even though they're like, "Oh, we're adding in new shit." I mean,
well, that game kind of fell by the wayside, but it was a good cash grab for what they did. Honestly, I mean, it was a decent game of what I've heard.
Yeah,
I mean,
got it
it's
for
what
free good
it's
for
what Pokemon fans deserve. And what you guys shouldn't be wasting money on is Pokemon. You should be wasting it on something that's actually good.
don't waste it
Like
on
Fortnite
Magic the
game.
Gathering.
Go
either.
waste it on Power
No.
World. Or better
Shut
yet,
up, Don.
go boot up Minecraft and play Pixelmon.
Go play
That's-
Pixelmon. Go play all
Go
the
play
mods
Pixelmon.
9. Just
Go play Pixelmon. It's free.
it
Literally.
is free. And then if you just want to go play with, there's literal Minecraft servers. I think Cobblemon is now a thing, which is literally Pixelmon on a server, and you can play with others, and you can battle, and there's gym leaders and a bunch of other shit. It's great. It is a fantastic mod. It's a fantastic server, and if you want to enjoy the Minecraft experience while having a little bit of, because I think
It's
what they added,
Pokemon but Minecraft. I mean, what's not to like?
I think they're trying to add at this point Pokemon helping you out in the real world, like mining and farming and all that other stuff. So I think that would be fun.
That would be pretty
but
cool.
coding
That'd be
that
nice.
sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, coding for it sounds like not Minecraft is free, but the mod for it is free. I mean, like
Yes.
everybody has Minecraft right now. Plus, it's also like 50% off because it's 15 years old. Oh yeah, do you feel old yet? Minecraft's 15 years old. old
Don't
yet?
even fucking say
Feel
shit.
old yet? Yeah. Do you feel old yet?
Not
I
really.
feel old. Anyways, speaking about Minecraft, I know we're jumping all over the list. Modrinth versus CurseForge has been quite a debate for the last 6 months, in general, where it's getting pretty heated. Actually, I didn't realize
Well,
how
Modrinth
big of
takes
an argument it is, but
takes a
it's
smaller amount
getting
of revenue.
bad. It's bad. The whole argument, because you got people say like, well, Labyrinth looks like the FTP launcher, which is open source, which people can go ahead and grab. And then it's like, well, people are battling about ad revenue and a bunch of other stuff. And here's the thing that really gets to me is when someone says, "Oh, this is better because of you know the mod people that make the mods are being paid more," or something like that, or it's because if their mod's not on this, then I have to go and download it to that. But um, I like reliability in a mod loader. I think everybody would agree that if a mod loader is reliable for a certain amount of time, then yes, I think it should work. Do I think Modrinth might take over CurseForge? Yes. I think the route they're taking business wise is great. But I think the mods have to be good enough and to be downloaded enough, not just clicked on, because people can mod anything. They can mod in everybody dying when one person dies, or they can mod in a spaceship, like the X-Wings and stuff like that. But it's gonna matter to if you're thinking about a mod pack stance, finding mods for both CurseForge and Modrinth are going to be different because CurseForge obviously has different securities because of what happened 2 years ago, I think, to not to this day, but
Wasn't it like
same month.
better Nether or something that had like a virus in it?
Better Nether got hijacked. It
Yeah.
actually Better Nether was open source and it got taken and then they injected something into it and it got re-uploaded on another author. Which was because they were both the same name and they both looked the same. CurseForge is like, well, they're both the same, so I only have to show one. Unfortunately, they chose
It was the
the
bad
system
one.
chose the bad one.
That's the problem I have with CurseForge, though. On top of being run by a rather crappy company, Amazon owns them now, right?
Yep. CurseForge's
I believe
owners
Curse is
are
owned by Amazon. And not only to mention that, but the launcher is not open source.
Overwolf is owned by
I'm damn sure it's Amazon.
Overwolf is owned by nope. Overwolf is its own company, but it's 50-50 with Venture Capital Marker, which is a investment company.
Okay.
Which is
I mean, it's in
why
the name venture capital, so
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I'm making this argument of like, will Modrith take over CurseForge?
I think it will.
I think it will. I think it's just in its
open
infancy
source.
stage.
The ad revenue is more friendly towards the ad.
Is 90/10.
It's easier to set up. It's easier. It's simple as fuck to use. You don't have ads popping up everywhere. I had Overwolf on my computer and I hated it. I got really annoyed at it.
Well, I did so in the installer. I only installed CurseForge. I just say no to Overwolf. I uninstalled Overwolf so fast. It's the first thing I uninstalled. But yes, because there was a huge debate over Chumcraft, for instance, where me and Nicholas, I think I went down and we were trying to get ideas mod list going and kind of seeing what was in store. I have my opinions about how the pack is being built at the moment, but
same.
The huge thing about it is, for me, a mod pack needs identity. Like, for instance, all of mods 9, the identity is every mod is in there that won't break the game, that is super popular enough to be in there. they actually took the time to create quest lines for it to make them have an identity. Because remember, ATM 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were kitchen sinks. You did what you wanted to do. That was their identity. You have packs, which are more on the roguelike side. So you've got roguelikes, you've got exploration, you've got sky blocks, which are still a huge thing.
Oh yeah.
So when it comes
I
to
want to
this
do
whole
one of those
modern,
eventually, Grant.
what, Skyblocks?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you better be ready for a podcast whenever you stream, at least for the first 3 weeks of gameplay.
Oh, dude, like, I would want to do an old one, like one with Ex Nihilo in it.
Sky Factory 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
I think
like
is
Sky Factory 4 or something
2.0,
like that.
2.0 or Sky Factory 3 or something like that.
Or even
Either way.
Project Ozone or something like that.
Project Ozone 3. Project Ozone 2. But anyways, because I went through, I think I made a list of what were exploratory mods, what was tech mods, what was anything like that. And granted, to me, I liked the game a little bit more difficult. So when I saw that there was a mod that made netherite trims to be made using copper and amethyst, I might have lost my shit. Because copper is so common. Amethyst is super common.
I wouldn't worry about that because
I'm not worried
that's
about
a waste
it.
of netherite anyways.
It is. But think about it this way. From somebody that has just gone through ATM 9, and I'm still going through it because we're at that end stage where we're trying to get the star. I don't need netherite armor in the first 20 minutes of gameplay. I'm sorry. With certain mods like that, you kind of wonder, am I making the game easier, or am I just babying it so that people can be overpowered? Now, my opinion, making sure a mod's not overpowered or making a mod pack underpowered is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I've built I've built mod packs myself with another group that made Pixelmon into a core feature and then added mods on top. I've made a few packs. So Modrinth, I've never built a pack on Modrinth. It's always been CurseForge. It's easier for me to go and find the mods that I need because the mods that everybody uses are in the top 10. Just pick them up. Do I need to spend more time on Modrinth? Probably. But anywho, the whole Modrinth versus CurseForge, man, it's going to be very interesting. But think about it this way. ATL failed.
I remember that.
ATL launcher failed.
What was the one that had Gorilla on it? G launcher or something like that?
G launcher or something like that. That thing failed. FTB is technically failing because they're putting their packs on CurseForge. Well, it's not that it failed. It's more of a
My problem with having like more and more of those launchers is that it's kind of like the different screwdrivers. It's like, oh, we have Phillips head, we have tri-point, we have flathead, we have square. I don't like any of these standards. We should make a standard that universalizes them all. And now instead of 7 standards, now there's 8. And it rinse repeats, happens again, and then eventually one dies, but another one replaces it.
Yeah. And the whole thing about everybody wanting to be a mod loader, or they want to publish mod packs, is the fact that you have to put so much effort into your website and your launcher for people to even come to your platform. And then when they come to your platform, you have to pay them because you're now agreed to paying them for putting their mod pack and their not only their mod pack but their mods, their core mods on your websites. And for me, think of the guy that made JEI. That dude's probably a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because of what he did. And think about it. All he did was just set up, list every item on the right side. If you click on it, it shows you the crafting recipe. And if you hit U, it showed you the next crafting recipe. So I think what people need to understand about Modrinth and CurseForge is that the people that make the mod packs don't make any money. It's the mod developers themselves that are in these that are making the most of the money. I guarantee you. Well, even when we made SavageCast, or not SavageCast, but Savage Pack, like that was a monstrous thing. Even though Project E ruined it for everybody.
Yeah,
but
it did ruin it. Yeah, I learned my lesson to never put Project E in a mod pack ever again because
Well,
it
see,
just rips a
if you
hole open to
if
it.
you put Project E in the pack, it has to be in the end game. It has to be at the end game.
Yeah,
If you like, it's a controversial topic even in our chats. Project E is so fun. It's overpowered.
it's so fun for the first 5 minutes, and then everyone
And then you
fucking
have
hates
somebody
it.
making 90,000 tier 14 power flowers, and it's gonna lag
And
the
then
server.
crashing the damn server. I remember that, and I wasn't at fault for it.
And people were like, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. And then I removed them all, and the server worked fine.
Yep.
I've made servers before. I know exactly where to look. And the fact is, they had them underground.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is, from that whole experience, I was like, okay, if I make a mod pack, Project E is not going to be in it.
Yeah.
Because, if you had them all on the surface, don't get me wrong, if you had them all up in the surface, I would have been okay, as long as we kept in restrictions, but because we didn't have restrictions, it ruined it.
Yep. Payton is mewing. No, shut the fuck up. No.
But no, I give 100% credit to Idea for, I think he's going 119 at this point, which is,
Yeah,
I
he's
think
going
it's-
119.
I think it's great. I wish it was 120, and I wish
I prefer
uh,
118, honestly. I feel like that's
well,
the best version of mod.
I wish
I'm
it was
Mature enough
120.
while also being recent enough.
Well, 120 has matured fast. It's weird that it's matured so fast. One thing that I did not like about season 2 was the fact that there really wasn't a chess mod in the middle, and that's why I was scared about using backpacks as storage, because backpacks are not classified as entities. They're classified, no, they're not classified as a block. They're classified as an entity. So if the entity's data gets wiped on accident, or it corrupts in any way, that's it. You're gone. That's why backpacks are not for main storage, which is why I pushed for sophisticated chess when season 2 started, because there wasn't. If you're not going to put iron chests in, which is the main mod, you
Yeah.
need to put in a different chess mod. And the fact that Create was being dumb also didn't help. Not to mention all the controversies between mob devs, like the whole Greg Tech Tinker's construct.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started, man. Greg Tech is in deep shit because they did not get the rights to Tinker's Construct's source. So there's battles of now
There's
there is
petty battles.
there are mod developers that have passed the torch under a new name. Don't get me wrong. But that is under closed doors, and not a lot of that information comes out. So, but damn. It'll be interesting to see where we see Modrinth in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially with 121 coming out, and then I'm thinking there's going to be another one. I think 122 will be at some point. But I think I can't wait to see how season 3 kind of pans out.
I can't wait.
Fingers crossed that there's either more added to it for kind of that early stage. Because early stage mod packs they're the worst part of the game. Early stage mod packs
game's rough.
are the worst. If you do not get the early game out of the way, and even get the game into early mid. Because once you get to early mid, stuff starts moving.
Basically, once
can't-
you get diamonds, the game speeds up.
Yep. And, well, not even diamonds. If you get a good source of iron, a good source of emeralds, if you're running the villager route, that's what's going to win you. That's going to make the game go faster for you. Unfortunately, it makes your game so much faster, but early game to early mid is about 4 hours of gameplay. And I think if you haven't made a substantial push into that by about hour 2, you're not going to stay in. That's just in general. If you can't keep your guys playing for 4 hours, your pack's not beginner, or it's not a certain way, which sucks because there's some packs like 18, like all the mods, you need to play for at least 10 hours before you start like going. But I think that's why they started adding quest lines and stuff like that. So, Anywho,
I think we're boring Payton over there. He's been really quiet and like, dude, I hate Minecraft. I don't.
I don't hate it. I just have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I'm not a big tech guy myself either.
Well, it's not tech. It's just Minecraft in general.
Well, freaking Berserk's over here saying the truth. Like, you two are the parents, and we're just like, yeah.
Real.
It's like you guys got
those heart-to-heart conversations. You know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, what topic do you want to jump into next? Because I know we have like 3 left, unless we go on to another tangent.
I think someone mentioned Fallout.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Fallout. I'm not well versed in the Fallout franchise, but I do know New Vegas is like the best game in the franchise, and
then they retconned it.
And then they retconned it because A, you can't have good shit anymore, and B, fucking Todd Howard is fucking Todd Howard.
Todd Howard is Todd Howard.
I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now. Once a lot of the community found out that they retconned New Vegas, that's when it started hitting the fan. Because New Vegas is the best game of the franchise, according to at least 80%, not 80%, about 60% of people that have played all the games in Fallout say that New Vegas is the best.
Yeah.
You want to know why New Vegas was the best? It was because you got to do your own thing. It didn't matter what you did. There were like 20 different endings.
Yeah.
To go towards, and the canon ending was the most satisfying ending. But because you retconned the most satisfying ending, you have now made the canon ending of that game different. And the community was set on that ending being the canon ending. And that was the most satisfying ending. Now it's more of the lines of like, oh, this is the ending they went with for New Vegas. Great, cool. Sure. But I mean, is the show enticing enough to maybe continue watching? Yes. But now they're in an uphill battle. And if this season doesn't work out, I guarantee you there will not be another Fallout series after this one, unless it gets brought in by a different company.
I'm not excited for any of that stuff. I just don't care about many of those video game shows anyway. But the fact that they're pushing politics rather than pushing a good show, it just really goes to show what they actually care about.
Well, think of what happened to Halo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good point.
No, you're only proving my point. They're only gonna make shit worse.
Isn't the whole point of Fallout is that like everything is nuked and the only
everything is nuked? There is no order. There's no politics. There's no nothing. There's only factions. It's factions versus other factions, and we're back to pretty much medieval China.
Yeah,
we're basically medieval China at this point, where it was 13 different kingdoms.
China's broken
by 13 plus kingdoms, which then turned into 3, and then it's like
like it's
Fallout is literally
It's literally nuclear Fallout.
It pretty much is. You're just society is rebuilt, and
Mhm.
there's these different factions, different kingdoms, and then there it is. That's the whole point. There is no politics in Fallout. There is none. Obviously, there's
Exactly.
politics
And
in the
yet they
factions.
insist on having pronouns
They
in the
find
show.
a way.
And yet
They
they
find-
insist on having
Yeah.
people who are neither sex in the show, and yet they
Yeah.
insist on people who lie about their sex in the show. And this is why I don't watch modern shows, man.
No,
They completely say, fuck your immersion, bing bong. And
I'm
to
gonna
that, I
ruin.
don't
I'm gonna
watch.
ruin your. I'm gonna ruin the experience of having you watch TV shows based on games anymore. Because guess what? Well, I haven't played Halo since Halo. I think it was Reach was the last one I
Halo
actually played.
Reach.
Yeah,
Think about-
Reach was the
Well-
last one made by Bungie.
Well,
Last good one.
but that's the thing, though. I enjoyed watching people play the newest ones. Once the show
Huh?
came out, I was just like, this doesn't work, and I don't think there's
Well,
been
they
any
shat
more
on
Halo.
the canon.
Well, and then they
show.
tried,
Absolutely.
bringing back the second. There's a sequel to now Halo Reach now that's supposedly in development, and everybody was just unhappy about it because
Oh yeah.
of what happened during the show. I mean, the show itself was great if you take it apart only the action scenes.
Yeah.
So now that there's a second Reach game, obviously the ending is
Gonna
he
be different.
dies. The whole consensus is that he dies. We see his helmet. We see everybody on him. Why is he still alive? Why is Noble Six still alive?
Because plot armor. Because money.
Because
Why did you build a second Krusty Krab
Money.
next to the first one?
Well, and then
Money.
Because money.
money. Well, think about it this way though, too. Like, just the whole thing is just in a rough spot. They've had to rewrite the story 3 times now, and when they pulled the trailer, they put the trailer out. They pulled it immediately and said, "We're changing the story again." They put another trailer out. We're pulling the story again. It's going to be in development hell because how are you gonna have this one character?
At this point,
That's-
just don't even fucking make it, because you're
Just
just gonna
don't even
ruin
make
it
it.
somehow.
Yeah.
Just don't even make it.
I think they will because money.
They're
Yes.
they're either gonna put politics in it, they're gonna put a chick in it, make her lame and gay, or they're going to do some sort of balls up with the plot of the entire lore, and it's just going to not sit well with fans. It's gonna cause outrage. It's gonna cause division. People aren't gonna like it. The true fans aren't gonna like it. The casuals will like it, but the true fans won't, because it won't make any sense.
They'll just go back to playing the
It
old
ponders
games.
to everybody, and
Yeah.
thus it ponders to nobody.
And funny how all this every political movement, it all just essentially causes more divergence than it does help anyone.
Yes.
Precisely, it divides
Precisely.
the fans.
The
rather
more
than
you
unites
focus
them.
on diversity, the more you focus on adding in everything and trying to make it together,
the more people you get angry at
the
you.
more people you have angry at you. And to be honest, that's probably the business scheme for a lot of these shows.
Mhm.
How many tropes can we throw in? How many tropes can we throw in, and how many people can be pissed off? Because obviously, those people are gonna watch and they're gonna say all this bad shit about the show. But we're making money either way, so what's the point?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
It's like
kinda
the
how
phrase,
Donald Trump
like-
became popular. It's kind of like how Donald Trump became popular. He used the negative press as positive press.
Yeah,
It's the
any
same thing
press
with
is
these
good
shows.
press.
If people hate the shows, people are going to watch the show to see how bad it is, and then it just kind
It's
of goes
tension.
like wildfire. It's attention
Any-
whoring at its finest.
You want to
Mhm.
you want to know the first instances of like this happening? Shark Tank. Shark Tank, and then the British version. There's always a time frame, no matter if they got a deal or not. Even the people that got hated on, like Pavlov, I think is what it was, and it was a company that would break bad habits. Guess what? They didn't when they got bad press from millionaires and billionaires. They didn't go out of business. They actually shot up in business, and somehow they're now still a thing. It's just like
Yep.
some of
TV
these
show got
people.
them attention.
It's the
These-
same thing with
these TV
celebrities. All these celebrities do this really fucked up shit, and they end up still getting worshipped by people.
Yeah,
It's the same
it's
thing.
just-
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
It's brutal, but that's just how it works. Now, do I think season 2 is going to be make or break? for just Fallout in general. Yes, Fallout 76 was awful. Well, I wouldn't say it was
They
awful.
can't make a Western Fallout for shit. They can only make an
No.
East Coast one, and the East Coast ones are pretty mid.
I think they would need to pull Rabbit out of the hat if they were going to make another Fallout. They need to get their different location. They need. I think they honestly. I would be happy to play a Fallout that was more. Was just a clean slate. That it wasn't just whole factions and stuff like that. What if it was? Maybe let's just say the Midwest because
I
they're
was
all
literally
friendly
about to
to each
say,
other.
what if it were in like Illinois or Iowa? Or
What if it
something?
was if in Iowa and everybody from the Midwest they combined it and now they're together? But however, here's the big problem. That's going to be the overarching story. What if there are people that just don't like the faction, but they're not ready to make factions, and then now there's an assassination. Now everybody, or maybe there's an assassination. Maybe all these people that are popular that want to be leaders are now all killed. So why is that case? So now there's an underground portion of it, where the vaults are actually for housing evil rather than having the surface be filled with evil. Think about it that way. I think that would
Why
be
can't you be a ray for these companies? Oh, right, because you're a white male and you're not woke.
right. Like, there's so many different ways to redefine the Fallout games in different parts of the world based on their own environment and their own livelihoods. But they're so focused on you start in a vault, you come up, and now you have to figure out your whole way through. And it's like, what if the game started 500 years after the vaults opened? Because it's still technically called Fallout, but you're just moving the early game of just... Because I'm going to be real.
Moving the timeline.
Fallout 4's early game, being in the vault, it didn't matter. 76's, didn't matter. 3's what's the last one that was good. It was like, oh, you're a child, you're going through the life of the vault. Oh, now your dad's gone. Now you gotta go find your dad.
Wasn't there
left
a
to get
time
milk.
skip in that one where the baby
Yes.
becomes like the final
The baby
boss?
becomes a teenager, and then the teenager becomes an adult. Or no.
I thought
Was
the baby
that-
became
I
like
thought
the final boss of the game.
That was 4. That was 4.
That was 4? Okay.
Oh.
4, the child is stolen while you're in cryo-freeze.
Yeah.
Funny story, you can go ahead and find your child and then kill the child and then go to the first faction to help them out, and it's weird, but it's possible. But yeah, I think I just need a new idea, a new splash of something.
Funny how Grant can create an actual good idea, but all these other companies just rely on stupid politics.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If you take politics out of
That's
the
all
game,
they care
and the game
about.
will
That's
work.
all they care about. They
That's all
care
they-
about that
yeah.
ESG funding, man. Those zero. Oh my god.
I'm not, man, I wish I was paid, but it's not like somebody's gonna grab this idea and be like, in the Midwest.
Bro,
In the middle
you
of
have me
fuck knows
curious
where,
about like
Iowa.
how
500
No.
years after
Vault
Fallout.
532, 500 years ago was open.
Nah,
well, now you have me curious about like how Midwest nice would be impacted by nuclear fallout.
but here's the thing, though. Doesn't that make you want to figure that out?
Yes.
Because you got Minnesota, Dakotas, Iowa, and Illinois.
Wisconsin.
And
Indiana, Michigan.
sure. Anyways, how would that friendly mentality of the Midwest, how would that change?
Yeah, how would that be affected by it?
Would it live for a certain amount of years until it would just full go dead? Or would it start dead, go together, and then immediately start having issues after combining?
Yeah.
Anywho,
See, now that's how you get me to play a Fallout game.
Well, I mean, Fallout 1 was to go find a family member. Fallout 2 was to find a family member. Fallout 3 was to find a family member. Fallout 4 was to find a for a family member.
Family member.
76 was Wild West, so everybody, I mean, Wild West Alabama bullshit. Everyone is their sister or cousin, so I guess you could pretty much
Bam,
say
bam, bam.
Sweet home.
Home.
Alabama.
Thank you. Yes.
Yep.
That's
what. Take that, Payton. That's what you get for blocking my POV dog.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
That was so funny when I did that,
my
though.
God. What
All
the
right.
hell?
I had to get my
We've got
petty revenge
two-
one way or another.
We've got 2 topics left. We've got Wokehammer and Rabbit.
Oh yeah.
Rabbit Hole.
So Warhammer. That's
Because-
so speaking of
Warhammer forums are funny.
Speaking of
Uh-oh.
crappy slop made by Amazon's TV studios, in addition to the Fallout show, we have what Amazon is trying to do. They're trying to make a Warhammer show, and as part of one of their clauses, they were basically requiring Games Workshop to make women female custodes canon, and that did not take kindly to the fans of Warhammer, because for the past, what is it, like 30 years, they've had it written to the lore that only men can be custodes. And
Yes,
women, there were female armies that were their own little thing, so they got the representation elsewhere. But the Wokies got to have everything. They got to trample on your front yard and everything, and got to ruin everything for you. Well, that's what they're doing.
Here's the whole thing about that. Warhammer's lore has been set in stone for probably 50 years.
50 years? Damn.
Probably for 50 years. And
then they rewrite it in a blink of an eye.
If they want to retcon something, they retcon it within the year.
Yes.
They are so. I don't think any company has been more anal with their story.
Oh yeah.
Like they will admit when something is wrong and they fix it. Because here's the deal. Once you start putting video, once you start doing audiobooks, once you start doing books, whatever is in those, they stick. They have to stick more often because those aren't changeable.
Yep.
Unless you want to re-release the book. And that is a dumb idea. Just to change one issue. So that's why when they were writing the story, they took months, years, and almost 3 years to write every single expansion. I mean,
This sounds like it's coming from experience. You play a lot of Warhammer?
no. I've played a lot of, once you play D&D, you kind of get shoved into that atmosphere. You kind of start seeing the stories from everything. I mean, for instance, card games having stories. Like, they made a card game for Warhammer, yet it still worked with the story. Like, even though you would think a card game, it should be its own story, right? No, it's a part of the story. And they don't make you have to buy cards to find the story like Magic does, where it's like, oh, you can read the plain text stories online, or you could just go buy the cards. It's just like, why would I want to buy the cards? Why would I want to
just look it up on
Yeah,
the
just
fan
look it
wiki.
up.
I would rather wait the month or 2 months to be told the story in an audiobook form when the story is complete. Because, like,
Yeah.
they made a huge deal of, like, we're adding story spotlight cards. And it's just like, how do I know where this goes in the story?
It's Magic the Gathering,
Warhammer.
dude. They're trying to milk that fucking franchise, but you know
Well,
that
they keep bringing people back that should have died, and it's just annoying. But that's another rant. This is not the place for it. Warhammer 40K.
40 hammer?
40
hammers.
It's
been a long 40
it's been a
hammers.
long SavageCast, okay? It's been a long one. But no, I think Warhammer 40K by Amazon needs to be good, and it needs to
It won't be
stay
good.
on the story.
It won't
be good.
It won't.
Grant,
It
it's
won't
going to
be
be
good.
just like the Fallout
know.
show. It's not going to be good. It's going to be woke. They
Oh, I
literally
know.
are forcing female custodes in there. They're literally rewriting fucking history. It's not going to be good.
No,
Like if you have to retcon something just for a specific political view, that's kind of bad.
They have to retcon for the ESG money, and that's pathetic. Like,
It
I'm
is
going to keep
pathetic.
bringing that fucking term up to make
Well,
people
see-
so sick and tired of me saying it, but it's true.
I hate seeing, you know what I hate seeing? I hate seeing companies that are like, well, we don't have the money, so we have to use these people. Look at Blumhouse fucking Studios. Do you think they need money from big time investors that are political to make their movies?
Or just look at what Nintendo is doing for the past, 10 years. They haven't been using that money. I think they're starting to now, unfortunately. But, back when, they went through the Wii U era. So, I believe it was Satoru Iwata
God.
cut his pay in
Satoru Iwata.
half. Just
Yeah,
to
he
keep
cut
the
his pay in
company
half.
He
afloat.
had to take
Yep.
it. He had to take a
Yep.
pay cut.
He had
He
to
had
take
to
it.
take a pay cut.
That is how you run a company. You care about your
Yeah.
employees. You don't care about your fucking investors. Your investors don't mean jack if your company is gonna go belly up in 5 years.
Hey, if
Say Target, which lost $15 billion, or Bud Light, Budweiser, they lost billions of dollars because people
they ended up
boycotted them.
making a fuck ton of money after all that went down.
But my point is that these boycotts do in fact work. Ubisoft stock plummeted 15% in one day after showing the blackwashing of Assassin's Creed. Their stock fell 15%. That's 5%'s a really bad drop in a day. This is 15% in a day. That's no joke. That's
think about it.
severe.
Think about this. Investors are always selling their stock to another person anyways, and new people are coming in anyways. So it's not like if you piss off an investor, someone else will want to invest if they think what you're doing is better. Like, I don't give a.
And how
If I had a
trade works.
if I had a company, I wouldn't give a crap about the shareholders. I wouldn't care about the investors.
That's
because
why
at
you'd
the
be
end
a
of the
private
day,
company. The best companies are private, like Steam,
Yes.
like Valve. Valve is a private company, and look at what they've been doing. They've let everybody else shoot themselves in the foot. Meanwhile, they do one crazy left field thing, and it sells like hotcakes. Look at the deck.
Yep.
Look at the deck.
The deck was the changing point. It made
that single-handedly revived the handheld gaming industry. The Switch had it, yeah, sure, whatever. You can argue about that.
But
all
it was
you want.
Nintendo.
But
was
that's
Nintendo.
Nintendo being literally 5 years behind on the tech at the time, and the
You're
deck
talking
releasing
about-
completely revitalized it.
You're talking about a game library that spans over millions of games.
Millions of games in quite
Out of the
literally
box.
20
And
years.
if you own those games, you get to play them on the Steam Deck. There wasn't any. You have to pay a certain amount of monthly fee to access your PC library. You had them. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It's not
You
like
didn't have
Nintendo
to-
where
didn't
you
have to
have to
buy it
rebuy
twice
Mario
either.
again.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Better yet, Nintendo. How about
Oh,
I
boy.
just pirate your entire library of games, put them on my Steam Deck, and play them on there? Yeah.
Or just
all
change
for
the OS on
free.
your. Just change
All
the
for
OS on the Steam Deck.
free.
Ban incoming in 3.
Change the
2.
operating system on your Nintendo Switch.
And not only
There you
that,
go.
but the Steam Deck, you could literally change the operating system. You could install Bazite or any other variant of Linux. Hell, you could install Windows on it if you fucking hate yourself.
I was about to say, if you hate yourself, maybe.
If you hate yourself.
My point is, it's basically a functional computer by itself, but it also is optimized to hell and back to play games on it, and it does a relatively good job at that. At
They
compromisable
spent
settings.
years making that, though. They spent years perfecting
Oh, they
it.
spent years perfecting
Yeah.
it, but again, Grant, it's sold like hotcakes.
It's-
Steam knows what Valve
Pre-orders
knows what they're
were
doing.
pre-orders were gone.
Yeah,
They
pre-orders
couldn't
were
keep
literally
up with
gone. It was during-
pre-orders.
Here's the thing, too, Grant. They caught the pandemic wave.
They did.
If
but
they
were
sold
able
it
to
2
sustain
years
it
later,
after
it
that.
would have failed. Honestly,
You think
it
so?
never would have been the catalyst that it was, because the handheld industry never would have taken off without it. But
No.
even if they sold it like 2 years later, you wouldn't have seen such an explosive catalyst like we have now.
You
but
are
because of the
100% right.
pandemic, everybody kept buying them, and that was just a massive catalyst.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I think that's just now they're the standard because you got ASUS making its own ROG
ASUS
crap.
making its ally. I believe Legion Go coming out, and that was pretty decent. You have
I don't even want to talk
GPD, the
about
Chinese clones and Chinese brands that just exist. And then MSI is making like 4 different claw variants. Like they like Valve knew what they were doing, and they caused an explosion in that industry.
They're gonna be chasing. Everyone's gonna be chasing them, and everyone's gonna be wary of what's the next Steam Deck gonna look like. You know, because remember, the Steam Deck uses today's hardware. Today's hardware.
It uses hardware from I believe 2018. It uses a 2018 CPU in it. But it also is like uber power efficient. The GPU in it is like from 2020. But it also
don't need a really strong graphics card.
They also refreshed it and made 6 nanometers, so it's even more efficient now. It has like double the battery life.
Aren't they making some double processor anyways refresh or something like that? Either way.
No, they're not.
Valve
has basically already confirmed that if they make a new Steam Deck, they're gonna make it.
Wasn't TSM going to be making like weren't they gonna just refresh their P and E cores that Intel was using? Because Intel's now got their whole fucking I can't remember.
Not for the deck, no.
The deck will never use an Intel chip. Ever. It will only use AMD chips. Because guess what? They're power efficient, and for the money to buy in bulk, they're probably cheaper.
Yeah, Intel likes to overcharge, and they also like to be inefficient.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jason gets on me for having an Intel thing in my laptop.
Well, you also have a G suffix one, which is like a notebook laptop.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. He has a notebook, not a.
Did you not realize this already, Grant?
No, I'd forgotten about it because I was so ticked when I first read it, and I forgot about it, and then he brought it back up, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, Payton has a notebook laptop. This is what I get on people about. It's like, oh, I'm looking for a gaming laptop. JSIC buys G suffix CPU. My brother in Christ, you're not going to be able to game on that thing.
Well, and then in the computer sphere, you like know what you're doing, and you're just like, well, you tell everybody if you need a computer, please let me know so I can tell you what's good and what's not.
Yes.
And then they say something, and then you reply a message, and they don't reply back. And they're like, well, I didn't get your message in time. And I was like, I sent you that message 5 minutes after. And then you bought it.
The impulse, man. The impulse.
It's the impulse. And I tell them, and I show them, you could have gotten this. And it's $500 cheaper. It has the same parts. Maybe the memory is worse, but
I mean, like, I got a $2,000 laptop that I paid like half of that. Like, I paid like $1,100 for it after tax.
That's what I'm saying.
Nice.
And like it basically has like a 6700 equivalent in it, and a 3700X equivalent. It's powerful.
It's powerful.
Like it absolutely destroys Payton's laptop.
Most things do. We get it. Okay, you still need to find me a better laptop.
You know what you need to do?
What do you mean? Yes.
You need to print out a Mr. Krabs face and just show it.
Wait, does everybody here have a laptop?
Yes.
At this point.
Yes.
And I have my computer, which is even worse.
Fallout 4 is only $20.
What's only $20?
Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
Oh.
They dropped
speaking
the price.
of discounted games, go play 100% Orange Juice. It's free right now. Go pick it up now. Like,
it's
I'm
free.
not even joking. Go.
I was about to say,
go literally
and download it.
Go to Steam. Go scoop it up right now. It's free. I will literally play it with you either tonight or tomorrow.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Fallout 4 Game of the Year is only $40.
That's a lot of money for a decade-old game.
No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. What?
No, it's not. You're getting all of the expansions. You're getting also all of the gear stuff that they released.
That's still
You
a lot
know,
of money for
Fallout
a
4 Game of the Year was $100 when it released. It was 100.
still.
And
Aren't they like charging like
if they if
$80
think about this,
for the new Assassin's Creed?
probably, but think of the Steam sale though. That shit's gonna be $10. Game of the Year edition is gonna be $10 by
Okay,
the time the
$10
Steam
is
sale
more
comes.
stomachable.
But think about it.
I have New Vegas and I still need to play
Okay,
that. I need to
if
mod
you're
New Vegas and play that. I
here's
might
here's
do
the
that
deal though.
sometime.
If you're buying Fallout 4 for $40 and you put a shit ton of mods in it, you're getting your money's worth.
I know what Don would put in. He put in a bunch of prawn mods.
What?
Anywho,
He put in a bunch of One Piece mods into fucking Fallout
One
4.
Piece shot. Mm-hmm.
I have to head out.
And what's her
'cause I
face
do
with
have
the
something
fucking
planned.
tattoo on her shoulder?
Yeah. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your cast. I do have to run because it is 8:00 my time, and I said I was going to join some other folks for games at this point.
All
But it
right.
has been fun. Enjoy the rest of. Well, we also didn't think it was going to be this long.
Yeah. I do think we're
How
gonna
long is
wind
it?
down actually.
Yeah.
Quickly
Yeah.
set up for a different game. Or
Yeah.
for something. I don't know yet. But I do appreciate everyone being here. Does anybody have any final says? Anything they want to talk about?
I do actually. You know what I find like kind of like ironic? How like it's all black people inserting because it appeals to all demographics. It's just them capitalizing off susceptible audiences, if anything.
True.
Capitalizing on what audiences?
Like instead of appealing to certain demographics, it's all in retrospect just capitalizing off of susceptible audiences.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That's just my final say on the whole Assassin's Creed thing.
Well,
Right.
they won't be getting any money from Japan, that's for damn sure, and they deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you.
Otherwise, thank you for having all of us. I
Yeah,
know
my
it
pleasure.
was
I'm glad I
pretty
could.
hectic. It got heated a couple of times.
Payton looks
But-
like he's about 3 seconds from going to heaven because his camera keeps brightening up. It looks
Bro
like
has
it
the most.
looks like a nuke is going
Okay,
off in the background.
I'm sorry, this is gonna sound really rude, but you have nothing in your room.
I know.
Mine
I know.
might be messy, but at least I have shit in my room.
But the only stuff is the pennants on this side. That's literally all I have.
Show him the sex
Damn.
wall.
Look at that twin size
What, the
bed.
sex wall?
Yeah, the sex wall. It's his
I like
game
how
library.
his camera turned. I like how his room turned whiter as he started to say, "Look at my sis."
You want to see my Trumpy Bear collection?
No.
No. Anywho,
Please.
I'm gonna hop on a call. You
Yeah,
guys
take care,
enjoy the rest
Grant.
of your
And
time.
everybody else here, thank you as well. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, my phone is like burning up.
Yeah, that's understandable. But yeah, thank you all for being here, guys. I appreciate it greatly. Don, Grant, Payton, thank you so much for being here and being great guests. This is a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I do want to do more podcasts in the future. So yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we should definitely do a lot more.
Yeah, we definitely should. I do have a question though. What game should we do tonight? Just say it in chat. And,
Jackbox, please.
Jackbox. If we get people.
Like we're going on like 6 weeks now.
What?
We're going on 6 weeks without Jackbox.
It'll be 7 because I won't be here next week.
Oh god.
I'm not gonna be home soon, so I can't. All right. Well, if you're not gonna be there, if it's just gonna be us 3, then yeah, I can't do that. I could do orange juice or something, but I plan to do that
Why
tomorrow
not just
anyway.
doing that, everyone?
Doing that, everyone.
Well, look at Game Room A. You got 5 people and they're doing something.
They're probably playing Risk of Rain.
Oh. Yeah, so they're probably busy.
Risk of Rain.
I guarantee you they're playing Risk of Rain. So when is Color Trash? I was gonna start it this week, but my life just got really busy this week, so I couldn't really do that. So I may just have to do it all of next week, like starting Monday. Again, it's just up in the air, dude. My life's been really busy. Next weekend I'm gonna be gone. I just don't know, man. Basically, as soon as Thousand Year Door leaks, I'm dropping everything and immediately focusing towards that.
Yeah, good call.
And you meet up
What's it?
with Kyber Booth.
I'm also not sure if you saw in what's it called in suggestions, like obviously because I'm done with school, like I'm good for first class troubles, you know, whenever you're
Yeah.
not busy.
We do need another person for that, though, according to you.
I thought we had 6 because it'd be me, you, Corbin, I believe Meg, so that's 4. Max said he'd join, that's 5, and then Fawn, then that's 6.
We'd all need to coordinate, though.
I know that'd be the hard part, yeah, is coordinating or like getting somebody else to buy the game. That's why
I
like
definitely can't guarantee it this month. That is like off
Okay.
the table entirely. I have
All
no
right.
time this month.
All right.
June is very much possible. I'm gonna be free a lot of the month. Like basically, I'm not gonna be working. June, July, I believe I'll be going down to Orlando again. But
Oh yeah.
But June, I basically am entirely free, except for protesting the certain event and maybe going to see family. But other than that, I won't be doing much.
Gotcha.
I won't be doing much except for burning a few flags.
What kind of flags do you think?
Pastel-colored striped ones.
That can mean a lot. That can mean a lot of flags. I
That
wonder
can mean
which
a
one is
lot
that
of
big one.
different
A
flags.
lot of mental disorder flags.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Hey, Jessica, I'm going to do a funny really quick.
What?
Let's see comments.
What?
Watch on stream.
What?
No, because like it'll happen on stream, I guess.
Oh, I won't be doing it live. I'll take a video
Oh.
of it. I'll take a video of me burning them, though.
Yeah, he sent me
I'll just
one
start
last year.
Yep, I'll do it again.
Do it again.
I'll fucking do it again!
I remember, Jake, like, you are valid because you have a gay person and a black person behind your back.
What?
Remember, you're valid because you have a gay person and a black person behind your back.
Exactly. No,
And did you-
you're the gay one.
No, I'm saying he's right.
Oh,
Plus, there's also Meg, so you have 2 gay people.
Yeah.
And
And
technically, you
I have a
yourself are also
Jew.
gay
I have a
people.
Jew that's
And a
siding with me
Jew.
too.
And a Jew.
And a Jew. So look, I
Technically,
have
you
a
yourself
Jew,
are
I have a
gay.
couple black people, I have a couple gays.
Gay
They all
people.
support me. I'm an
Also, you
equal
have a bird.
opportunity.
I have every card.
I have every
have two
card. I
furries.
can offend everyone. Oh shit.
Yeah, you have 2 furries too, don't forget.
I do. I do.
Oh,
have 2
yeah, he's right.
furries.
2 furries.
Oh, and you also have a Mexican.
I have a couple Mexicans. I have 2. I have 2
You also
Mexicans
have an Arabic person
and
who identifies
2
as
Puerto
white.
Ricans and like
And a
a
Latvian.
bunch of Asians. Latvia is part of Europe, not of Central America, but whatever.
Oh, and also, you get to make fun of fat people too because you have Meg. Sorry.
You're bad.
No,
The
I know.
6 infinity minorities.
Aren't we all?
Oh my god, CJ.
And also, you can make fun of children too because you have Corbin.
Shut up, Don. Shut up. Alright, anyways, thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Don, Peyton, and Grant, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You all have a great night. I'm probably going to be setting up for another game shortly. But don't leave, because I will be doing a game tonight. I just don't know what. I'll do an everyone ping in the Discord real shortly, and I'll see you guys then. Stay savage, y'all. Bye.
Stay savage.